Okay, let's see if we're live. We look live. Am I going to see an update on the number of people watching to see that we are in fact live? Give it a few seconds. Make sure the connection is good because we're indoors. Do we look live? Must be 4:20. Viva, where are you? I have not been detained by government officials, so we're starting today in a hotel room because we're starting today with an interview of one of the representatives of the Convoy, the Freedom Convoy 2022, Ben Dichter. And we're in a hotel room, so it's warm. I may not have to scream. Let me know if the audio is good. The hair today is absolutely out of control. When I sleep now, I don't like the hair tickling my neck, so I push it up like this, and then I end up sleeping with it, and it gets totally straight, so the back looks wild. Okay, while everyone trickles in, share the link. It's on Rumble as well as YouTube. I'm going to go live, and it's going to go dark after this interview. I'm going to take myself out of the stream while I get in the elevator and go back down to walk the streets after this. So this is not going to be 3.5 hours indoors. It's just going to be, I don't know, how much time do you have? 30 minutes?
As long as you want.
Okay. It'll be, I got some questions. I know that the interwebs have questions as well. A lot of people are asking a lot of the same questions, and a lot of the outlets are still repeating a lot of what I believe to be and what I understand to be misinformation, to put it politely, demonizing lies, to put it honestly. One of which is the Convoy's stated objective is to overthrow the government. I want to get to the heart of that statement or misunderstanding. Other questions. Who is the representative? How did they become the representative of this convoy? Is there one unified voice, one unified representative of this group? Other questions, addressing some of the misinformation, some of the rumors out there as to what's going on with the money in the Give, Send, Go account, and whether or not it's going to be pilfered, misappropriated by selfish actors who are, seeing green because money corrupts. We know that. And so the only thing that prevents corruption is the disinfecting effects of sunlight. So with that said, let's just see, are we smooth? The lighting is actually quite good. I think I've been getting, at the very least, some sun from these. This is now day 10, live streaming, documenting what is going on in Ottawa. And my first time catching it live, beautiful. I'm still flabbergasted by the lies and the misrepresentations going on Twitter. I'm gonna go into a rant about this when I go back outside, because I called a doctor out on it on Twitter this morning. Auto block. I mean, it's just like it's I can predict it every time. They make an outlandish statement that this is a white supremacist group of individuals who want to overthrow the government. They get called out because I tweeted out a bunch of videos showing the white supremacists. One of them came from Kuwait. One of them was born in Haiti. One of them was indigenous. Some of the white supremacists were breaking up snow and shoveling the walkway. So, I call them out, then I get blocked. Okay. Moses to Pharaoh, let the mandates go. Okay, so with that said, people, we're going to do this. And if you come in late, backtrack and you'll see the interview. I'm here with Ben Dichter. Never met him before. This is my first time. It feels like we're like in a clandestine meeting, but we're just in a hotel room because Ben's mobility seems to be limited. I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to ask some questions. You're going to see Ben sitting in a chair. I'm going to hold it like this so you can hear my voice. Ben, I guess first question before we get to what happened to your foot. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Okay, so my week started when I had to go back to Toronto and then come back quickly. So I decided to park my car into a tree on the 416 and write it off on my way to doing the Crowder spot. Did it from Tim Hortons, a half hour later. And the next night, I was running from one command center to the other command center because we're spread up in different hotels. And I guess the mayor had it out for me and didn't salt the sidewalks. And I did a pirouette on the ice, but instead of rolling my ankle, I snapped it forward and back and broke both my ankle bones. And I just had surgery a couple of days ago.
Okay, that does look painful. I want to make sure that the audio is good. If you cannot hear in the audio, let me know, but I think we're not going to have more ideal settings than this. Okay, so that is what happened to your ankle. And you look like you have pretty thick bones, so I would have to say that that's a good fall, because ordinarily I wouldn't think your bones would be that brittle.
Did you just call me fat?
No. I can say I'm looking at the wrist. I'm looking at the wrist. First of all, we're built roughly the same, so I can tell that I've got what my father said were thick Polish bones.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's what happened to you. Who are you? and we got to get into the Convoy and how you got to the position that you're in right now as relates to this massive movement. So who are you?
Okay, so I am a spokesperson for the Convoy. I'll explain how that happened. I also do own a truck. I'm what's called an owner-operator, so I own a vehicle, and I do cross-border driving, as well as a few other projects that I'm involved in. And I've known Tamara for several years. And when they started the Convoy, this idea, which was just out of desperation, they just thought, we have to do something. Nothing is changing. Let's just do a convoy to Ottawa. They had done one a couple of years prior, but it ended up getting politicized. The parties got involved, and of course, that kind of dwindled their momentum. But they had the idea of how to put one together. They had teams that could do the logistics, and they said, let's just do this one, and we're not coming back until the mandates and the passports are lifted. So they decided, okay, let's do a GoFundMe. We'll get a little bit of money. Maybe we can raise 10 or 20 grand, and we'll have a few cars going there, a few trucks going there, and we'll make a statement. And Tamara called me, I think it was the next day, and she said, look, we decided to do this convoy. We did a GoFundMe, and we have, I think she said, about $150,000 in the bank at that point. And she said, it's exploding. Can you help? You want to come on board, help with messaging, all that sort of stuff? And I said, it'd be my pleasure. So that's how I got involved.
All right. So you operate something of a logistics company before this?
No, I'm what's called a single owner operator. I own a truck. So I have a contract with a company. People in trucking will know what an owner operator is. And so basically when I want to go on a trip or go out of town, or I have days to work, I just get a load from my carrier, and they'll send me to, either I can tell them, request to go to certain places, or they just send me a load. I go to the United States.
Okay, so how you've been in then the trucking business for a while?
A little, not too long. I actually bought my truck because of COVID. I got sick and tired of being locked at home. What I also do is produce podcasts, and I just got sick and tired of being locked at home. My brother bought a truck because he bought one for retirement. And he said to me, listen, if you're sick of being at home, I got a license several years ago. He said, why don't you just buy a truck and let's go together, and we'll do tandem runs to the US. And whenever you want to get away from Canada and the lockdowns, you can do it in the truck. So it's actually COVID that pushed me to buying a truck just to get away from this nonsense. So the whole period during lockdowns, it's been crazy to see the difference between the United States and Canada, and other drivers will know what I'm talking about. You cross the border into the United States, it's been total freedom the entire time, even in states like, New York and New Jersey, where they had what we would perceive as hard lockdowns. But Americans just kind of thumb their nose at the government and they ignore it. But once we cross the border back into Canada, it's like a dystopian nightmare. It's been quite creepy, and it's been like that for 2 years.
All right. So, and how did you meet Tamara again?
I met her a few years ago when myself and one of my podcasters, Tom Quiggin, went on a speaking tour throughout Alberta and Saskatchewan, because he has a lot of fans of his work. Listen to the Quiggin Report podcast, by the way. You'll know what I'm talking about. Tom is the real-life Jack Ryan from the movies. He was a Sea King operator, then became an intelligence analyst. And that's how we met Tamara and this whole crew from Medicine Hat, Alberta, and some people from Lloydminster, and we went to Saskatoon. Like, we have friends all over Western Canada now as a result.
Okay, and so Tamara starts this movement, opens up a GoFundMe at the time, gets to 150,000, and then says, "We need a representation. We need logistics. What do they come to you? How do you get?"
She said, She called basically everybody she knows who has different skill sets. So she reached out to people she knows in trucking for road captains. She reached out to other volunteers that are good at setting up kind of the back end. That's Cindy and the group that are still in Alberta. And for me, she reached out to help with messaging and outreach and stuff.
All right, actually, so now that we're on that subject, explain the different parts of this machine now that the Convoy has become, because it's huge. How many truckers? Let's get clear on some numbers, actually. How many truckers are involved in it, like actual drivers? What are the various components to this machine? How does it communicate, and how does it coordinate?
That's been a big part of our challenge. Like with a lot of grassroots movements, they fail when you start your movement and then at some point you have to centralize, right? And that's usually when things collapse. And that was our biggest struggle for the past 2 weeks, because we did enough work they did enough work to get us here. So the convoy arrived, we had a command center set up, but so much of the systems and processes that they had could not handle the volume of trucks that came on board. Like again, we assumed it would be kind of a small convoy, maybe 100 trucks or 50 trucks or whatever. We didn't anticipate the thousands of trucks, so we still don't know how many they are. Because remember, a lot of people, and I want to clarify this point as well. A lot of people in the fake news media, I like to call them, say, well, or on Twitter, they say, well, there's only a few trucks, there's a bunch of pickup trucks. They don't understand that when you have a commercial vehicle, depending on the agreement you have as an owner-operator with your insurance, some guys can take their trucks wherever they want, some people can't. So what do? Instead of taking their commercial truck, they hop in their pickup truck and drive. But those people are still truckers, right? And when they come in their regular truck, they're coming with their family and their kids and all that sort of stuff. That makes sense.
And yeah, no, it's about, in terms of determining the number, then is there a registration? Do people send their emails? Do you have an email list,
God.
like number buddy system as to how many trucks or truckers are formally here or part of this movement?
It got so overloaded with all the requests that were going in that they couldn't keep track of the thousands of people every few minutes that were registering online. I haven't been to that command center yet to see if they finally tallied the number of trucks, but they're also spread all over. Because remember, Ottawa police blocked them from coming into the city of Ottawa. So we have hundreds of trucks that have been sitting in farmers' fields for the past couple of weeks, just hanging out. Everybody's having a barbecue together, waiting for either if they're going to move to another destination or come into Ottawa. Like that's the backup of the backup of the backup of the backup. There's so many that spread out all over.
All right, and then you got trucks in Ottawa, trucks in Quebec that have been stuck there since the bridge was closed, sectioned off over there. Then you've got the trucks going to Quebec City. You've got the trucks in Coutts. You've got the trucks in Windsor. Do you have any idea, rough number, how many truckers are involved?
No idea. I had no clue.
All right, and then communication, say, between Ottawa and Windsor. Are you guys up to speed on the latest developments of what's going on in Windsor?
Okay, so the Windsor blockade, for example, that's not us.
Okay.
We have inspired people, I guess, in their local regions. They did the same thing in Alberta and in Vancouver, apparently. On the border between BC and Washington State. We never actually had blockades in our strategy. We're never going to go that direction. We had something else that was more passive, not quite as aggressive. We support their right to protest. That's great, but that's not actually, that has no involvement in our group.
Okay, actually, so good thing to clarify now, because then I'm not totally clear on this. Mm-hmm. We know that there's a blockade which may or may not be dissipating now in Windsor. There's the blockade in Coutts. There's what's going on in Ottawa. What are the various entities by name, by structure, and what is the geographical scope of what we're calling the Freedom Convoy 2022? So break down the different entities, who's in charge of them or who's not in charge of them, and the scope of the Freedom Convoy 2022 here, because it's going to be relevant as relates to the monies raised.
I think what has been a problem for the government is there's no specific entity in each place, and there's different grievances. So, for example, the Coutts border in Alberta, those people are going after Jason Kenney. That's who they're upset with. They're not even focusing on Justin Trudeau, whereas we've been focusing on the federal mandates and the federal passports. Something else that's interesting, it started with truckers, but then we had farmers that came out with their tractors, started doing blockades. And when the premier of New Brunswick, I think it was, when he said he passed some sort of law, emergency measure, whatever, that if you participate in a convoy, it's an illegal act and you can lose your driver's license for a year, something stupid like that. People in the fisheries industry who have lots of friends in trucking decided, okay, we're going to block the fishing ports. So apparently, at some point the last week, there were 170 points of entry in Canada that were blocked at random times. And this is all organic. This is all different groups of people saying, the guys in Ottawa have a great idea. Let's go. Let's get in our trucks and let's do it down the street.
Okay, so I mean, basically, I made the joke on the streets that it's like Fight Club with Fight Clubs,
Yeah.
you know, organically arising in different cities, except it's Convoy Club.
Yeah.
And so then this is going to get into the money question,
Mhm.
but also the scope. What we're referring now as Freedom Convoy 2022.
Yeah.
Is that what is specifically limited to Ottawa?
Yeah, so that is now a registered charity. So it's a nonprofit that we're setting up for all of this, and that's specifically for the Ottawa Convoy, and specifically with the mandate of fighting the vaccine mandates and the federal passports. We have a board of directors. We are the ones who've been working first with GoFundMe. Our lawyers were, chasing GoFundMe to try to get money released, and then with Give Send Go, Dave Rubin has reached out to us as well and is setting us up on locals. Hopefully, I'll have that completed today. And we also have a group of people from the Bitcoin community who built the equivalent of GoFundMe, but in Bitcoin, because they saw what was happening and they predicted accurately that we would eventually have monies blocked from GoFundMe.
I got to tell you, I was not even that cynical. I mean, some have said I've been black-pilled, but I've certainly been red-pilled. I was not even that cynical that GoFundMe would go the way they went. Now it should be go F me. But okay, so Freedom Convoy 2022 itself is a registered not-for-profit or charitable entity.
That's right.
That occurred relatively quickly.
Yeah, within the past week or so.
Okay.
I just signed the documents 3 days ago, I think.
And that Freedom Convoy 2022, we're going to refer to that as one entity, people, so you will understand the structure, or, I say this without criticism, lack of structure for the various blockades, protests, convoys. Freedom Convoy 2022 is exclusively what we're seeing in Ottawa with the trucks that have been kept out in Quebec and over here. So limited to Ottawa. Their objective is end the federal mandate, which involves plane and train and trucker vaccine mandates.
Yeah, well, it's the overall, all the mandates requiring vaccination, and it's called ArriveCan is the application you have to put on your phone. The ArriveCan app, which has your COVID data on your phone, which I don't know if you saw my interview on Tucker, but what I explained was the very first time I used it, which was a week before we started here, I crossed the border into Ontario. I drove up to the booth in New York State, and I have it on a different phone. I had my phone. I held up my QR code, and I said to the border agent, here's my QR code. I guess it's my first time, and he said to me, "Oh, don't worry, I don't need it." So what do you mean? He said, "Oh, we can detect your phone in a certain radius, and it just popped up on our screen, so I have all your data in front of me already." And I thought, well, what's going to prevent the government from deciding to do that in all government buildings and not limiting that just to the border? So for me, that was a red flag. And that was on my other phone, which doesn't have a SIM card. It was only logged in to a Wi-Fi I have a US account, a US Wi-Fi in my truck, yet they still were able to track that phone was within a certain radius of the border.
And then a week later, he breaks his ankle. No, Steve Bannon. No coincidences. I'm joking. Okay, so that's Freedom Convoy 2022. What is the convoy that's responsible for or was participating in the Windsor Ambassador Bridge blockade? If you know,
I don't. From what I understand, there's people. I don't know if there's anybody from our group. I think there are people. Like once we got here and we were successful, then we just heard, okay, there's convoys all over the country and then all over the world. Like, okay.
And this is the issue. There's convoys in groups all over the country, all of whom speaking. And when they speak, let's just say the mainstream media or the politicians hears these various voices as one entity that they're lumping with Freedom Convoy 2022. So let's say, does the Freedom Convoy 2022 that's here and for which the money was raised initially on GoFundMe and now on Give Send Go, have they issued a formal mission statement? I saw something of a memorandum of understanding, but has the Freedom Convoy issued any formal written statement about objectives?
Yeah, so we have a couple of people doing public relations that have been issuing statements and putting them on the web and all that sort of stuff. The mainstream media ignores it anyways because they're just mainstream legacy media because they're not mainstream, right? They tend to ignore this stuff anyways and come up with their own narrative. So we've been putting them on our platforms, letting everybody know, something occurs or there's any sort of objections or problem or, with the mayor of Ottawa, Ontario, all of that stuff we've been putting out in press releases.
Okay, and now I'm going to tackle one question. And Jagmeet Singh and then the other members of the media have said that the convoy's stated objective is to overthrow the government. And I'm saying their stated objective, which was the quote, is to, quote, overthrow the government. First question, I know the answer. Has Freedom Convoy 2022, this registered charitable entity that is involved in the activities in Ottawa, have they ever said anything like that, similar to that, or something that could be misconstrued as that?
No, not even close. That's what elections are for. We're here for mandates and passports. We have a minority government. At some point, there's going to be an election, and the parties will deal with that. But we have no interest in subverting democracy in any way, shape, or form. This is just about getting our freedoms back and getting rid of this tracking app. That's all.
And now the next question, have you heard of any of the other various offshoots, sub-entities, which are not formally affiliated with or connected to? Have you heard of any of them saying that their goal is to overthrow the government in an organized sense, not in individual people on the street, in an organized sense of any of these other entities? Have you heard them say that?
Oh, kill me. I don't know if I've heard it. It's specifically worded that way, but there are some people that are very, very careless in their language. There's also people who are saboteurs who work either for the extreme left, like the swastika, remember?
Yep.
The swastika gate. That guy, somebody just happened to unravel a swastika in the back corner of a park, and there was a $10,000 cannon perfectly lined up to take that picture. And 20 minutes later, every NGO associated with the Liberal Party was blasting it all over the place, right? And then we had the guy with the Confederate flag, right? Why? It's Canada. We're not part of the Confederacy. And that guy, by the way, if you notice, he was wearing a
full ski mask with sunglasses.
It was a black balaclava. I'm telling you, that was Justin Trudeau because he does like to wear black things on his face. Looked exactly like him. So we're dealing with a lot of that, and there's also people who are. It's really disturbing. I mean, you learn this in politics. There are people who are paid operatives, provocateurs, if you will, that work for parties, work for people who are the executive of various parties, and their jobs are to kill grassroots movements. I don't want to give any names right now because they're entirely irrelevant, but we've been dealing with a lot of that. Like the last week, oh my God, every day it started with we'd wake up and all of a sudden I would get a notice, Tamara would get a notice, whatever, that there's a press conference at 3 o'clock or at 1 o'clock. No, there's not. We didn't call it. Who called a press conference? But everybody in the world, I mean, I don't blame them. They're energetic. They're excited. They're eager. They want their voice to be heard. And I get that. But we've been dealing with half our time just getting people on board with messaging and focus on and the mandates and the passport tracking. Everything else is a distraction. And don't fall for the bait from the other side.
All right. So then technically we've heard, I mean, we know of other people speaking. If it's not for and on behalf of specific convoys, it's just generally with loud voices. Who are, for anybody listening and wants to know, who are the formal and say exclusive spokespeople for the Freedom Convoy 2022? If someone says something and it relates to it, the only authorized people are whom to actually issue public statements for the Freedom Convoy?
So myself, Tamara, and Dagny are official. We also defer to a couple of people that are on the teams. So there's somebody who's going to become visible later on today. I don't want to say who it is, but somebody in government who will be with Tamara. But we're the primary sources for official messaging. If that makes sense.
Makes sense. And I'm going to ask an obvious question to the people who are still repeating CJAD. I'm looking at you. Aaron Rand, Natasha Hall, Elias Makos, Jagmeet Singh, National Post, The Guardian. for the people who are still saying that this convoy's stated objective is to overthrow the government, quote. And so therefore, how do you negotiate with people whose demands are that? What do you have to say to those people?
We don't live in a third world dictatorship, although it sometimes seems that way right now. We will have an election whenever the next election comes, and that's what will be decided. This is exclusively about removing the mandates and Passport, the tracking app, and getting our freedoms back, because we can't. It's been going on for 2 years. You know, they're complaining here, oh, the Ottawa businesses are suffering. Yeah, what about for the past 2 years where everybody's been locked down? They seem to forget that, right? When it's their fault, it's everyone else's problem, right? But no, it's exclusively just this. There's no ambition to overthrow any government. And that's also why, if you've noticed, we've kind of kept the politics out of this. We haven't made it a partisan thing. We've had people from different parties reach out to us and make overtures, and we said, great, but the Liberal government is in power. We know there are people in the Liberal Party on our side. We know there's another 30 Liberal. I know from people on the inside of the Liberal Party who've spoken to me. There's another 30 Liberal MPs that want to follow the initial 3 and are really, really ticked off with Justin Trudeau and his response, because they're embarrassed, right? This is going to be their legacy. Mm-hmm. Like, look at it this way. You live in Quebec, right? We've both grown up in Canada with this baggage of Quebec separatism, and Alberta doesn't like Quebec, and the West doesn't like Ontario. Well, everyone hates Ontario, right? But that's been the baggage that we've had. And the very first day I was here, I couldn't believe it. You must have seen this too. I went to the end of the park behind Parliament Hill, and I followed this massive line of tens of thousands of people crossing over into Ontario from Quebec, holding Quebec flags and Canadian flags, going up to Parliament Hill to meet their brothers from Alberta. They started hugging each other. Yeah, I got a couple of pictures of guys. One guy has a sign that says freedom, and another guy next to him, his sign says liberté. They couldn't speak to each other, but they said, come, let's have a picture and hug each other, whatever. We went into the Tim Hortons. One of our team, one of my friends went to Tim Hortons, and she came back, she said, I couldn't believe it. I was in line, and there were these 2 guys, 2 truckers. Clearly they know each other, because they didn't just meet each other in line. They were talking and joking and laughing and whatever, but they were using Google Translate, because one was from Quebec and the other one was from Saskatchewan. So this is what happens when the media and politicians get out of the way. We all unify and we respect each other's differences, and we in fact embrace them. It's been the most beautiful experience, and I never ever thought I would see this in Canada. It's been amazing. I'm sure you've seen it too.
Well, I was going to say, actually, and those who have been watching the 10 days of live streaming, at one point I ran into a French Canadian who was saying how he was a separatist, and he was almost saying it apologetically because he was here with a unified Canada. And I said, first of all, you don't need to apologize for that. People are entitled to their political beliefs. But that is the level of, you got French Canadians coming from Quebec with the drapeau des patriotes, and it is amazing, liberté, freedom on these cars on Quebec, and it's beautiful. But then you've got, I mean, I got to ask you this: you have seen the crowd here from day 1. I only saw it from day 3, the Monday after it all started, and I knew what I was being told on the news. How do you feel? What's your reaction when you hear these guys who I don't know if they've been here since day 1? Referring to this group as white supremacists, racist, misogynist, anti-black racist, transphobes, anti-Semites. I mean, how does it make you feel, and what do you have to say to the world?
I find it hysterical, and I laugh at it, and I say, you know what? Why don't you come to my synagogue next time we have high holidays and tell them all that I'm a white supremacist? Like, it's the stupidest garbage over. That's all they have. All they do is name call. It doesn't work because we don't care. Truckers are pretty strong people with pretty thick skin. And, you know, there's some colorful language on the CVs when you're in a truck. Not as colorful as kids playing Call of Duty on Xbox, by the way, but quite colorful. Call us whatever name you want. We don't care. It's not going to change anything. It's like whiny children. That's what our legacy media has devolved into, and it's quite sad.
All right, now let's get into the thorny question, or the most important one, the money. Because, like, nobody can really imagine that when you start a GoFundMe and when it gets to 150,000 and then people start freaking out and then it gets to 10.5 million. Before we even get there, explain to the world are you allowed to discuss the Give Send, not the Give Send Go, but rather the GoFundMe? Are you allowed to? Okay, so tell everyone what happened with the GoFundMe.
Okay, there's two stages with GoFundMe. First, it was hysterical. The fake news Toronto Star and the CBC and Yahoo News, I think, parroted it. On the first couple of days, we're running stories how GoFundMe has suspended, what do they call us, alt-right, white supremacist campaign, whatever. And when I saw the Toronto Star story, we had just got off the phone with GoFundMe about an hour before. And the nature of the conversation was, great, we're working with your lawyers. Everything's going to be good. We'll take care of you, whatever. Because GoFundMe always does that with a new account and a new campaign, especially one that's their 8th or 7th fastest growing campaign in history. So this is part of their due diligence and their regular process. Yet the fake news is running this story that they blocked it. So I told everybody, don't respond. Let them dig their grave. And after, 7, 8 days, whatever it was, when GoFundMe finally said, okay, we're going to start processing things, we released an update or press release on GoFundMe saying, thank you. It's been great working with you. We're very disappointed that some people in legacy media decided to write fake stories about it, but that's their choice. And the other thing that's funny about the fake news media, it's like they don't have eyes. Like they go to the page and they say, oh, it's been frozen. It's like, can't you see the numbers changing? Like there's more donations coming in there. That's not frozen. That's not how it works, right? So that was the first stage. And we thought everything was fine. We eventually, the lawyers took it over, right? So eventually put in a request to withdraw the first, whatever it was, 1.4 million, whatever it was, the first batch. Okay. And around that time, it took this long, is when it got to $1.1 million. Then all of a sudden we had an actual freeze. Now I thought we were being brigaded by activists online. It turns out it was the mayor of Ottawa and the chief of police collaborating together to advocate for GoFundMe to drop it. So we don't know what the statement is that the police gave, but the police gave some completely false statement to GoFundMe that this is a violent white supremacist insurrection, whatever it was. And GoFundMe responded with, okay, great. We have everything we need. And now we're going to cancel it and we're going to keep the money and give it to a charity of our choice. And the mayor of Ottawa went on stupidly Twitter to brag about it. And thank you, GoFundMe, for heeding the call, or however he worded it, from the Ottawa police and the city of Ottawa for blocking this hateful whatever word verbiage he used. So that was with that. So that was the first time, and then what's it called? Florida man Ron DeSantis piped up, and the Attorney General and Ted Cruz said, "You know what? This borders on criminal fraud. I think this warrants an investigation." And all of a sudden, GoFundMe said, "No, we're going to return all the money."
It's unbelievable. I made a face when you said, like, we're not yet a totally corrupt nation. We're still a democracy. And then when you hear things like this, we're going to get into the court case with Give, Send, Go, because I have no doubt they reiterated these very same statements they made to GoFundMe in the form of an affidavit to allow the court to restrain the Give, Send, Go campaign. But this is some interesting level stuff. Okay, sorry, carry on.
All right, so that was GoFundMe. Then Give, Send, Go reached out to us. We spoke with Jacob, who's the CEO, who's been great. He said, okay, we'll set everything up. We'll just continue where it is. People will get their money back. Hopefully they'll donate again, and we can continue. And don't worry, we don't hold the money. At least that's their process. They try not to hold it. They try to just process. Fine. I think we hit $1.5 million in the first hour and a half. Sorry, in the first 12 hours, $1.5 million. And then somebody told me it was like $4 million in the first 24. I mean, I've been so busy with other stuff, I couldn't track it. But it was definitely accelerating far beyond what GoFundMe did, because that angered people, right? It just motivated them to donate more. And we were going great. They hit up to $8.5 million or whatever it was. US. And that's when Doug Ford, Mr. For the People, screwed everybody in the US and Ontario who donated and went to court and got this, what is it, an injunction?
It was an order of restraint under section 490.8 of the criminal code. The copy of the order was public, but we haven't seen the affidavits filed in support of it. And I would love to see what whoever swore in those affidavits said in those affidavits. We'll see that one day. But if there's lawyers out there who have found the affidavits, they are or should be public documents unless they're under seal. If they're under seal, I'm not interested in leaking that stuff. I'd love to see what they say. But they got that order to restrain the $10.5 million. And where does it stand now?
So now they were actually going to transfer the first monies to us. But because of this order, Give, Send, Go didn't back down. And they said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to stop every transfer. We're going to hold on to the money now while you guys go to court and litigate it. And the other thing, by the way, the initial transfer we got from GoFundMe, which was 1.4 million approximately, is in a bank account in TD, and TD froze it before anything from Doug Ford. So if you think it's your money, it's not your money. Like it's unprecedented. It's absolutely disgusting.
So that was I guess the first question. You said earlier with the GoFundMe that they had released 1 million and change. Had that been what's the word I'm looking for? Not disposed of. Had that been used or spent?
No, that money went to our account, and then TD froze it, like they didn't know what was going on. And our lawyer contacted their lawyer and, started lawyering, what that is like. And they agreed that they're going to transfer it to our lawyer's escrow or trust account, and that the lawyers would manage it. The last I heard when I spoke to my lawyer about this a couple of days ago, he was with me. He said, he shows me the phone, says they still haven't transferred the money.
And I had read, I thought that maybe they had deposited it in court, which is something that they can do. There's administrative fees for depositing monies in court. That's a percentage of the amount. So if anybody in the chat knows what happened to that 1.5 million. So that is to say then, I guess to quell one concern, of the 10.1 million from GoFundMe, 1 point change had been transferred, was subsequently frozen by TD. And of the 10 million with Give, Send, Go, none of it has been disposed of?
That's right.
All right. And then, what is the plan with that money? Like the concern of the people out there is that you, Tamara, or the other organizers are going to line their pockets, line their friends' pockets. Is it you have an auditor for the not-for-profit?
Yeah, we have an accountant on board that's setting everything up. The first step is to get the money released. And that's what our lawyers are going to deal with this week. Tomorrow they're going to court, and they're going to start fighting it and try to get this freeze lifted by the Ontario government. I'm staying out of it. I don't want any of this money. I want this money to go to the truckers. That's what it's for, and that's where it's going to go. So when we initially put the GoFundMe in this stands, the money was for the cost of the journey, because there are additional costs beyond, just fuel and food and repairs and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, legal fees that Doug Ford is bleeding from us. We'll just have to litigate it, and eventually we'll get it. Unfortunately, that's just, how this works.
Yeah, no. And I saw some people asking, TD is Toronto Dominion. It's a national bank here. And yeah, the lawyers are not going to have to worry about getting paid, because even if there's a freeze on the funds, they will release the funds necessary for a defense. We live yet in that type of corrupt regime. Yeah. Although, not far off. So that is to say then, none of the truckers and none of the administrators, none of the reps have seen $1 of the money's raised yet? Of
the money's raised, no. They will. So what we've been doing is out of pocket. We've just been taking our own money and giving it to drivers and helping them out, and throwing them $500 here, $500 there, to as many drivers as possible. Some people have been walking around giving cash donations to drivers just to help them out, which is great. It's been keeping everybody happy. And then the other thing that happened in parallel to this was the Bitcoin community, and everybody gets scared when they hear the word Bitcoin, and they shouldn't. But the Bitcoin community was monitoring this, and they saw what was going on. And these are some very serious players in the Bitcoin community. And they started a tally coin fund, which is basically GoFundMe, but in Bitcoin, to collect Bitcoin for the truckers. And today is actually the day we're working with an exchange to start converting some of that Bitcoin into dollars so we can send it to some of the drivers. That's today's goal.
Okay, interesting. And then what is the ultimate what's the ultimate goal, the plan with the monies? I mean, you're going to reimburse cost of travel, food. Is it to reimburse for lost remuneration?
If we have enough money for that, for sure. So the Bitcoin fund initially was for legal, because they were quite fed up with how the government had behaved, and the media, who's been smearing us all, calling us different names. And that's why I put a tweet out a few days ago with just the words Nicholas Sandman. And we already have a strategy. So that's what the chunk of the Bitcoin money is for. But because everything else is being held up, we're going to take a portion of that and start giving it to the drivers. And we have an idea of what everybody needs just to stay afloat, comfortable, have food, all that sort of stuff. So that's our primary goal right now.
All right. And just so everybody also out there can be a little quelled, I'm not a not-for-profit expert by any means. I just know that typically they have to appoint an auditor, correct, to provide audited financial statements?
It's the first time I've ever been in.
I think that's a requirement. So you will see what the registered nonprofit does with the funds.
Yeah.
And I won't use hyperbolic analogies, but people get in trouble if there's pilfering or whatever. I guess the main question is this. People raising monies for the other convoys, the other entities that are not formally Freedom Convoy 2022, who's controlling that, what's regulating that, and who knows what's being done with those funds, if you know?
That we can't do anything about, right? Like, there are so many different, not only in Bitcoin and crypto, but just in this regular give, send, go, and so many people have been and GoFundMe's. People have been setting up their own drives. I mean, there's some people are scammers, some people aren't. There's individual groups, like smaller groups that ran their own GoFundMe's, raise like 20, 40 grand or whatever for their expenses. That's fine. I mean, that just doesn't have anything to do with us. But listen, if a group of the 50 trucks want to go together and operate on their own, okay, cool, we support it.
And people, you have to appreciate this as well. There's a certain element of due diligence that's required in people donating, so that you know that you're donating to a legit fundraiser. If someone sets one up, make sure you know the person, and that you're not just, pulling a what was it, Bobbitt McClure, the gas station, the homeless person who gave his last 20 to the woman to get gas, and they raised 400,000, and it was all just a ploy from the beginning. So this is one thing that's interesting about Give, Send, Go, and I spoke with Jake and myself just a little while, not about this, just in general. And he says, like, Give, Send, Go is community-based in a sense, so that you know who you're giving to. So if random charities pop up, you could be a little suspect. Okay, so I guess then now the next question. What's logistically, unless I have not satisfied everyone's concerns about the financial aspect, digest, do your own due diligence, and
and we're going to be doing more. We're going to be doing some more Twitter Spaces. There was a Twitter Space last night
with David. Was it with Amber, or David Amber had done one, but he's a lawyer?
It was 2,000 people yelling at me for 2 hours, and I'm like, guys,
with Ottawa residents
all over the world.
Okay,
primarily Canada, U.S., but all over. So I said to them, well, what we're going to do is we'll do some more Twitter Spaces so people can come in and ask questions. Like when I left, there was another, 30 or 40 questions that were remaining. But I guys, it was 1 a.m. I was getting to know myself with this leg. So I said, we'll do it more regularly. And I think we're going to bring Nick, one of the Bitcoin guys, in just to discuss a little bit more on our strategy with getting money to the truckers, and people can ask and get a little bit familiar with that, because that's how we're going to have to operate, at least for the next however long it takes our lawyers to get some action in the funds.
All right, and I guess this brings us into the next and probably last category, the operations plan of action. What is the latest? The injunction to cease honking horns, from what I can tell, has been respected. That expires in a few days. What's the latest on the lawsuits, and what's the plan going forward, strategy-wise, in terms of your occupation in Ottawa?
Occupation, good. You mean parking? That's what we do. We've been parking. Okay, so with respect to the current strategy right now, like yesterday, there was a big hoopla because the mayor of Ottawa reached out to us. And the mayor of Ottawa made a request, can you, move some of the trucks from residential areas, alleviate some of the congestion and all that sort of stuff. So we said, yeah, because we're insurrectionists, so obviously we're going to work with the government, right? So we agreed and we said, okay, we'll help alleviate some of the traffic. We're not going anywhere. All the trucks are staying there, but we'll jockey them a little bit just to help ease some of the congestion for the residents. With the injunction that you said, by the way, I don't know if you took a look at it. It was hysterical. The fake news media reported that we lost an injunction for honking. That's not what happened. There was an injunction against us for everything. They wanted to seize vehicles. They wanted to bring in wreckers to tow them. They wanted to fine people. They had this long list of things that they wanted that were completely ridiculous. You as a lawyer would have laughed at it, right? So the judge struck down everything except for one.
Which I presume you consented to in the first place, to stop honking between 8 and 8.
It was stop honking only air horns and train horns, which are quite loud,
yeah,
and limit them to a certain designated area. Because the judge said, I can't argue that train horns in the middle of the city aren't a nuisance. And we said, okay, we get that we understand. But they lost everything else. So the fake news media spins up and says, oh, Convoy loses injunction on horns. It's like, no, the horns was the smallest thing that they were requesting.
And so what's the latest in that? That lawsuit is going to continue carrying on?
I guess so.
And logistically on the ground, like, what's your plan of action? It's been 2.5 weeks now?
Yep. So right now, we celebrated the 3rd week of Trudeau's truck stop on Sunday. And we have quite a few celebrities, actually, who've reached out to me in the past 24 hours who want to fly up here and come and speak on the stage on our behalf. So we'll just continue doing this until the government realizes maybe we should just drop the mandates in the passport. It's, you know what? It's infuriating, and you'll understand this. It's the easiest win in the world. It's not like we're advocating for change to the Constitution or we want to change the country fundamentally. Just drop the mandates. That's it. Just let us get back to normal. That's all we want.
Well, this is, and by the way, this is the strategic mistake. Like, even in battle, you have to watch what you say because some words cannot be unsaid. And so when Justin Trudeau comes out day 1 or day 2 and calls them every name under the sun, effectively likening them to terrorists, he then puts himself in a position where he can't compromise anymore. And it's as a result of overplaying your hand, but also just allowing ego to get involved in the debate. Some things can't be unsaid, and some things, when you say them, you then limit your own ability to negotiate with yourself without putting yourself in a position of being a hypocrite. But if the media were doing its job and just accurately portraying what's going on here, I think the public opinion would be more favorable to just sit down and negotiate with them, and as opposed to too many people, in my view, actually think that this entire convoy is defined by consistent examples of bad flags and bad actions, whereas those are the excessively rare examples that I think there hasn't been one since the beginning, since day 1 or 2.
And the other thing is, it's hysterical. The 2 spokespeople who really got this started with our team, one is a Métis woman from Alberta, and the other is a Jew. But Prime Minister Blackface, he's the virtuous one who's not racist. He is the most racist person to hold office in our country's history. It's gross. But whatever. Don't really care. Just drop the mandates and end the passport program, and everybody gets up and goes home. It's the easiest win. You talk about not being able to score on an empty net.
Well, so here's the deal. This is the question. I've answered it, but maybe I'll hear your take on it. The argument is going to be federal mandates are different than provincial mandates. So the feds can't control what goes on in the provinces, and it's provincial mandates that are the vaccine passports, not the Arrive can. So would the Freedom Convoy 2022 be satisfied if the Arrive can and federal mandates were lifted, but the provinces still maintained whatever provincial mandates they had?
Yes, because, yes, we're focusing on the federal Arrive Can app and the federal mandates. But if you notice, already the premiers are starting to sway and testing messages of removing mandates. I think, what was it, Kenny said a couple of days ago that they're going to end all mandates.
And I think Ford said something similar.
Yes, nothing to do with truckers, right? That's fine. But I think once you see the federal requirement is gone, the rest of them don't want to deal with this either. And I think you'll see the provinces will fold like everybody else.
And not telling you guys how to do your job, but if you insist on the Fed not subsidizing the provincial vaccine passports with $1 billion federal dollars, that might limit a province's willingness to partake in a program for which the government has promised $1 billion to the provinces. Because why would anyone leave good money on the table, especially when it's not theirs?
Yeah.
So, okay, now everyone, I'm going to wind this interview down in a few minutes. I'm going to go black for a few minutes while I go outside. Don't leave. Don't think the government got me. I just don't want to have any connectivity issues while I get in the elevator. So I'll bring myself out and bring myself back in. But final words, Ben, what do you have to say to the world? What do you want the world to know who's watching now with a reasonably open mind? And what can we expect in the coming days?
If you can, come to Ottawa. It's the best vibe I've ever seen in Canada's history. It's a party. It's a festival. There's music. There's food. Like if people they come back to the hotel, I can't eat. Everybody's been giving me food all day long. It's people hanging out with their families, meeting new people, falling in love because they've been trapped for the past 2 years. But now everybody's finding friends across the country. It's amazing. I can't tell you the feeling that's going on here. If you can come here, come here. If not, watch the live streams online, share it with people, get engaged. This is how we're going to fix things that are happening in all of these countries where our freedoms are restricted. And I think the people in the political class, I could give the example of those 30 Liberal MPs, they're not evil. They just haven't realized that, okay, we're taking things a little too far. And people just want their basic rights of freedoms, and they want to go on with their lives. But until that happens, it's so much fun. I got to tell you, it's great.
And now we are expecting a declaration from Justin Trudeau or a press conference. I don't know if it's happened yet, actually. Chat, let me know if Trudeau has already spoken, because I'm disconnected while I'm streaming. If it hasn't happened yet, what do you understand that Trudeau's going to say? Or what do you expect from Trudeau and its impact potentially on the convoy?
I have no clue. I mean, I would think if I was logical, what he would be doing is setting the stage for messaging in the next week or 2 weeks that they're going to end mandates. And it's because they saved us with their policies of locking us down. And because of that, we got Omicron, and Omicron's not killing anybody. So now it's time to open up. I think that would be logical, right? It's an easy win for them. The only problem is, when he did the press conference 2 weeks ago, I think it was, somebody asked me, what do you think he's going to say? And I went on to Twitter and I said, prediction, Prime Minister Blackface is going to come out and call us all racist, ex-phobes and bigots and Nazis. And that's exactly what he did. But I think that strategy has run its course, even amongst his own people, his own base. I saw a poll today that amongst Liberal voters, his handling of the truckers, they give him, his approval rating is 15%. And in politics, most people who know, like when you're in a leadership contest, if you're below 20%, you resign. Now, he wouldn't just because it's one isolated incident. But it just goes to show that they have the numbers and the data to show them that this strategy is the wrong strategy and they should reverse course. And I think Canada will be much better off if they do that. And it'll be good for him. You know what? Yeah, he'll be a little bit bruised politically, but he'll come out and say, I listened to the people. We did what we thought was right. Maybe it was wrong. We don't know. But everybody is free. And now we can be a unified Canada again.
All right. Awesome. So final words now. Where can people find you? Where can people find contacts for the convoy? Where can they get their questions answered? And what can they do to help?
Okay, you can find me on Twitter. BJ Dichter is my Twitter handle, and on Getter as well. I just signed up for Getter because, it's only a matter of time, right? Tamara as well. So Tamara_NVC on Twitter. We haven't set up.
Hold on a second. Dichter, people, is Dichter. So BJ Dichter.
Yeah.
That's at, and then Tamara is Tamara.
Tamara_NVC is her Twitter handle.
Like Mama Victory Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go to Give Send Go when they're by the way, when Give Send Go started, they were getting 5 million DDoS attacks an hour, 5 million, on top of the overwhelming number of requests to donate. That's why so even with the website barely operating, and I couldn't get on for 7 hours, they still managed to process $1.5 million. So give those guys a lot of credit. They've been up against a lot. So anyways, you can go to Give, Send, Go and type in Freedom Convoy Canada. You'll see the video of Tamara giving the introduction.
What's the name of the corporate entity on Give, Send, Go, if you know offhand?
I think it's Freedom Convoy Human Rights. I gotta check.
Check and I'll either comment or, but it's a video of Tamara.
There's a video of Tamara talking about it, so that's the one you'll see. And you'll see it has like 8 million or whatever it is. Okay, you can go there. I'm going to be on the phone with Dave Rubin's people again, so you'll be able to go to freedomconvoy.locals.com. We're in the middle of setting them up. And if you go to Twitter at Honk Honk Huddle, you'll find a link to the Tally coin. If you do want to donate with Bitcoin, you can make a donation there. I think we're up to $1.2 million in Bitcoin, and we're going to be converting that into fiat to get it to the drivers.
All right. Fiat, for those of you who don't know, is regular money.
Funny money.
Funny money. Okay, Ben, thank you very much.
All right, brother.
Everybody, I'm going to go dark for, it might be 5 minutes. Don't get nervous. Don't lose hope. Continue either chatting or fighting in the chat. I notice a lot of colorful comments. Going to go dark. I'm going to pull myself out, and then we're going to go back live from the streets. I'm going to go up and do what we've been doing for the last 10 days. So stay tuned. Be back in a second. Not ending. I just want to get out. Let me see here. Like this. Oh, I'm live. All right, tell me if you can hear me, people. I'm gonna put my glove on. Okay, you see me, everybody? Hold on. Every time I do it, it hurts. Okay, it doesn't matter. We're on. So it's cold today. It's not blistering. It was minus 14 or 15. Everybody can hear me and you can see me. How's it going? Loud and clear. Yes, we see you. Strange. Booyah. Okay. I hope that answers some questions, quells some concerns. I can read the chat. It's tough to trust people in the best of times, let alone in the worst of times. Money corrupts. When you see bags of money and massive accounts of money, yeah, people can get greedy. They can start to do things. I'm satisfied. I'm a little pissed off with what, still, not a little, I'm still massively pissed off with what GoFundMe did. The system can be weaponized very easily against political adversaries, as we're seeing now in real time. But it's also a very complicated thing because even I was under the impression that the Freedom Convoy 2022, this Freedom Convoy here, was related to the Ambassador Bridge. I had no idea that these are all independent, autonomous organizations or very disorganized organizations that are just popping up, going left, right, and center. Thanks for streaming the blistering cold. Yeah, I got my battery packs. I don't think I'm going to need them all today because I'm not going to be out for too long, but we're just going to go now. But that's it. You met Ben Dictor. I know what the internet says when it comes to, when the internet wants to raise suspicions or create drama, create rumors. I know what it says, but I don't get into the rumors. I don't get into the drama. I'm just walking around with a camera. Yeah, I've seen that super chat 14 inches. I'm not getting into the that type of rumor drama. Not my thing. Others are gonna do it. Not my thing. I'm getting arrested. No, I'm not. So what's going on here? Because it seems that the police officer is escorting the convoy trucks in. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, they definitely are. We've got another live streamer here. Oh, he might not be live streaming. He might just be recording. Oh, what's going on here? Sorry, I'm not recording your face. So what's... Sorry, we can answer questions? Okay. No questions. Anyway, so 2 trucks are up here. I think some of the cops might have learned their lessons about answering questions and then getting in trouble with an angry internet mob who didn't like their answers. Okay, what's going on here?
They're going to play hardball with these suckers, but they're directing them right into the heart of it all.
Why are they? Do you know why they're bringing these truckers in?
I don't know, but
They got a police escort.
yeah, they got a police escort in, and yet
you don't mind being on camera if you end up on camera? Say the cop didn't want to answer any questions, and I didn't want to record his face in case he's facilitating an insurrection. They've let 2 truckers into the convoy. This is Wellington. Yeah, this is Wellington. This is Wellington, Parliament Hill. How do you find this?
Oh, this is interesting. It's a piece of history, and I think it's as peaceful as it can possibly be.
Are you from Ottawa?
No, I'm from north of Toronto.
Okay. I say peaceful isn't people think it's a joke. Peaceful's an understatement. This place is going to be cleaner when they leave than when they got here.
Absolutely. We watched a group of guys cleaning up the ice along the edge of they were doing a better job than the public works. I haven't seen any public works down here, but I've seen a lot of guys down here cleaning up and picking up garbage and serving free food to anyone that comes down. And yeah,
fantastic.
It's horrible. It's scary. I'm fearing for my life, really. I am.
Especially with that symbol of hate on your back. They've turned patriotic flags into hate symbols. Not the convoy, the media. How you doing? Look at this. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
A few more trucks in. I've seen about a half a dozen.
You mind talking on camera?
Not
Okay,
necessarily.
fine.
But I was here earlier, and there were several other trucks coming in, so they're trickling in.
Okay, so they're
thank
getting,
you,
they're
sir.
I
getting
know
more
it's
trucks.
it's an act of aggression, but I'm
That's
trying
the
to.
second pair I've almost lost.
All right,
Hey,
thank you
great
very much.
job. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. So didn't want to be on camera, but he says they're letting a few more trucks in. If anybody knows, has Justin Trudeau made the statement of the day? People are expecting it to be a declaration of state of emergency under the Emergencies Act. The Emergencies Act and declarations of emergencies in Canada in 2022, or say 2020 to 2022, they're Skittles. Everybody gets one. They are the government has become the Oprah Winfrey of emergency declarations. Go get an emergency declaration. I want to interview a trucker. We didn't get enough interviews with truckers recently. I'm going to see if I can get some more. Look at this. Look at this sign of hate. It actually says unity in it. It's cold today, and there's not very many people. Compare the amount of people now to what we saw Saturday. If you all don't remember, it was a stream of people flowing on this street endlessly. And now it's dried up, but it's Monday and it's minus 14 or 15 Celsius. How's it going? So there's a lane, there's an emergency lane for emergency traffic. That was a police car. Let's see if we can get a trucker. We want to get a trucker. Here's some stories. Oh, okay. So thank you. Apparently he's speaking at 3 p.m. So that'll be in an hour. How you doing? Hi. I'm back.
Thank you.
We got a trucker in here. No trucker there. We'll walk back to the further point of the convoy that I haven't been back to in a while. Ooh, they changed the sign, people. The sign used to say, "Why are you hiding us? Open the bridges." This is what the new sign says as of February 14, 2022. And yes, everyone in the chat, I remembered it's Valentine's Day. Except by I remembered it's Valentine's Day, I mean my daughter did. And she's going to pick up a Valentine's Day gift at her discretion for Marion, for me. And I'm not going to tell Marion. Wink. This says now, be on the right side of history. Remember your oath. It's an amazing thing. In argument, in discussion, people throw around that statement. You're going to be on the wrong side of history. Imagine the people blockading simply to have our constitutional rights reinstated, as if they could have ever been suspended in the first place. As if that is going to be on the wrong side of history, as opposed to the counter-protesters, in my humble opinion, who are sitting there saying, it is acceptable that the government tells you to lose your job if you don't get this particular medical intervention. Not anyone at large, not polio, not TB, this one in particular. To think that they think in their minds that they're going to be on the right side of history when they use that same trope. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, yeah. What is that? My goodness. This thing, you could cook a cow with this. This is amazing. You got food on there? Oh, there's food on the Barbie. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that was a whole pig? Pig, yeah. Oh, darn it. I missed it. I'll be back. Thank you. That was a whole pig on a spit. That was an extremely hot jet-powered flamethrower heater. How you doing? Let's see. Here we go. Loch Ness trucking. Fight for freedom. Yep. That'll be on the wrong side of it. But here, these are the offensive signs. That's the F word. That says F Trudeau. Freedom Convoy 2022 mandate are enforced like a law, but are not law. COVID ads are harassment. There's that old meme. A pandemic so serious it requires an ad campaign to warn people about it. With symptoms so severe it requires a test to know if you have it. That is oversimplifying it. Yes, that is something of a straw man characterization, because the elderly were the ones that were getting nailed by it. But I don't think they needed an ad campaign to know what they needed to do in their own mind for their own best interest. I won't read that out loud, but the second part of it was the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. All right. It's an incredible thing. So the Justin Trudeau is expected to declare a national state of emergency because the Emergencies Act, it's federal law. Oh my God, there you go. Let's get some sun. It's federal law, and it requires a state of emergency sufficiently serious that the government can bypass the ordinary legislative process. How you doing? To enact measures to deal with the emergency. So you imagine this here, the blockade that we saw in Windsor. And by the way, my brother, if anyone hasn't seen that, I think everyone watching now has seen. My brother's also a lawyer and went to Windsor yesterday to see what was going on. My brother's middle name is Ari, and that's means a lion. And for anybody who didn't see it, my goodness, did my brother's lion come out. But so they're expected to declare a state of emergency for this, for the Windsor blockade, which I think has been resolved by way of injunction now. And the protesters have been complying with the injunction. How you doing? The protesters have been complying with the injunction, which is exactly what all insurrectionists do. They comply with court orders. And so they're going to declare, that's the expectation, that Trudeau will declare a state of emergency so that they can issue emergency proclamations that bypass the ordinary legislative process because of the emergency. Because they've seen how they can do it for 2 years. For a health emergency, why can't they do it for this? Forget democracy. Forget the legislative process. Forget debates. Forget having to prove the necessity of the measures, the effectiveness of the measures. Emergency declaration. In the dead of the night, you get François Legault, PM of Quebec, passing the vaccine passport and wants to avoid public debate because he doesn't want to expose the lowly, ignorant citizenry, the hoi polloi who are incapable of understanding facts. He doesn't want to expose them to misinformation. This is actually what he said coming out of Quebec. So just keep milking for 2+ years now, emergency declarations, so you can violate the Constitution through diktat, through edicts that have never had any public debate, have never had any evidentiary hearings to show the necessity, the effectiveness, and above all else, not only that they would be effective, but that they wouldn't cause more damage than doing nothing. But government is the only entity that would rather do something that's worse than doing nothing, because at least if you do something, you're doing something, even if it's worse. Okay, we're at the end of one section. Quiet as anything. How's it going?
You got a minute?
Absolutely. Do you mind being on camera?
I don't, and I'm calling my brother, Dr. Ryan, who's a big fan.
Oh, very cool.
Let's see if he'll answer.
What kind of doctor?
Chemist.
Now you don't want. I'm gonna come around this way. And you're gonna say hi to the world.
I will.
Okay. What do you have to say?
Hi, world. Please stand with Canada and support the battle against the tyranny.
Where are you in from?
Texas.
You're in from Texas?
Yeah, we actually met real briefly about a week ago. I had a face mask because it's cold here.
Oh no, it's cold. Today's cold, but it's dry. It's like we say, it's a dry cold, so it's not. Just so long as the skin has to be pink but not white. If it gets white,
how do you keep it from turning into little ice cubes?
Well,
I trimmed, and I
don't really have that much anymore. But you're in from Texas.
I am. We live here now, but we're
in Ottawa.
Yep, we're living locally, which I was going to share with you this whole time that this has been going on. It hasn't really interrupted our flow of freedom of movement. But yesterday I was trying to get home, and believe it or not, the one time that I actually had my route to get in and out of my home blocked was by the anti-protesters who were upset about blockage of roads, who then took it upon themselves to block roads.
And they literally were walking around with signs saying, honk if, I don't want to say it, honk if the Fauci juice works. So they're complaining about the honking and then presumably trying to get people to honk. There's no shortage of inconsistencies. But you're from Texas and you live here. Did you hear honking throughout the night in the early stages?
Only when we were right downtown. We're a little on the outer edges, so we're not right here, but occasionally when people drive by on 417, you hear it. So I mean, it's not horrible. It's like being in New York City, but not as bad. People are nicer and more polite.
Fantastic.
So no, it's been a great experience. I think hopefully that what I'm hearing in the news, as a lawyer, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on their chances of being able to justify the Emergency Powers Act?
Well, I mean, I've just been talking about they've been doing it for 2 years, so it's the courts seem to be on the side of the government, which is to be expected. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. But my theory, I'm going to say my theory in a bit. Actually, you'll have to see it.
I'll
later.
tune in.
All
Thanks,
right,
buddy.
Nice to meet you. My theory, by the way. My theory about the when ego gets involved. If Justin Trudeau declares a state of emergency, he's going to do it, to not do anything with it, to then subsequently roll back the measures like I predicted earlier, but I'll be off on the timeline. And then he'll be able to say, oh, sir, Ottawa is here. Then he'll be able to say, I flexed my big muscles, invoked the Emergencies Act, and then the science changed, and then we're there. Sir,
how's it going?
Interwebs, this is the inception. How you been doing?
Very good, how are you?
Good. Anything big happen?
No, it's just been the same.
Everyone has to realize how ridiculous it's like the mating call of the live streamers. We're holding our cameras and much of the same. No massive police intervention.
No, and it's been fairly minimal so far. So
counter protesters. Have you gone to the counter protesters?
No, I didn't know exactly where it was at the time, and I just happened to be here.
I wonder if they would appreciate or not appreciate your or my presence. But
that's what I'm saying. Actually, at the end of my live stream last night, someone kind of gave me to go home, be white trash, something like that. And that was the only negative interaction I had this past 18 days. Just to say.
Amazing. Which way are you headed now?
I'm heading towards Parliament.
Okay, so everybody, Ottawalks. If you want the Choose Your Own Adventure that goes to Parliament, Ottawalks on YouTube. If you want the one that goes down, I don't know what's down there. Viva Fry.
Hey,
Sir,
Viva Fry.
Keep it up.
Okay.
All right, have a good one. See you soon. It's so funny. The reality is sometimes stranger than fiction. That's very funny. You've never seen happier people in your life. It's a very, very cold day today. Choose Your Own Adventure. Yes, it's the Choose Your Own live stream. I'm going to turn around for 2 seconds, stop talking, and warm up my face. Oh my goodness. It seems we have found the last of the street phones. You see, children, before cell phones, we had these phones and they had numbers. You see, 613-780-9179. Out of service. Well, I guess that. Children of the interwebs, who was born 2010 and later, that is called a telephone. A pay telephone. I haven't used one since they cost 25 cents. And from what I understand, they now cost more than 25 cents. Those things used to be everywhere. And when I used to go on road trips with my wife, back before the days of the of cell phones, and I got a cell phone late in life, even in that era. When we used to go on camping trips, we used to have to call home just to tell my parents where we're okay, and yada yada. But calling long distance on payphones cost a lot of money. So you could call collect, and then you'd have to say what your name was when you called collect. And so I would say that my name is, we just arrived in New Brunswick, we're fine. And then I would hear my parents hear it, and then we would hang up. And then occasionally, we would actually have a longer conversation. And then you could call collect, and it would ring up at a person's house and say, you're getting a collect call from blank, do you accept the charges? And the person on the other end would say, yes. And that's how, oh, it's cold. 50 cents. Inflation, people. It's inflation. Of course, I've taken the bus and public transit more recently, but the price of public transit when I used to go to elementary school was 43.5 cents. Go figure how they got the half cents, because you used to buy these little tickets, purple tickets, and they came in 6 like stamps, and you snapped one off and put it into the little sucking machine in the bus thing. But from what I understand, the bus and public transit is a little more than 43.5 cents these days. Back in my day, give me 2 B's for the dollars. So I've walked this portion. I haven't walked it since day one. But I don't think I see any more trucks that used to be around the bend, but we'll see. This was, for those who have been following this journey from day one, where we met Trista Suk. Trista, Trista Suke, who sang for us in the street, Amazing Grace. And it was surprisingly beautiful. And she actually just sang on Saturday at the main stage, and she sang her song called Smile, which was great as well. But I have a thing for Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace and Tommy Boy. Not Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy? Yeah, Tommy Boy. Are 2 songs that always give me the goosebumps. All right. People, if you, get my tears out of my eyes. This is Ottawa. Maybe I can do, I'll try to replicate Ottawaks. This is Ottawa. This is an empty street. That's Mill Street. Oh, there's 2 flags coming. 2 flags. A flag that I saw one of those TikTok videos of someone freaking out, saying that we have turned, and not we, but the Convoy, because I am but an independent individual, that this movement has turned the Canadian flag into a symbol of hate, and that people in other countries, get this people in other countries are flying the Canadian flag as a flag of protest at these similar type movements and protests, and it's become a global alt-right, right-wing symbol. Load of absolute Orwellian psychoses. How you doing? You mind being on the webs? Where are you guys from? Merveilleux. Salut. Yeah, so I suspected they were coming. Gatineau, I think, is over this way. Yeah, Gatineau's over this way. Okay. So, yeah, you know what? I think that entire portion of the convoy is no longer there. Yeah, it's all gone. Let's continue walking over here, see what we see. So what does everyone else have to say in the chat? Danny Boy, not Tommy Boy. Sorry, Tommy Boy is Chris Far. It's the cold, people. It's freezing my mouth and my brain. Danny Boy. Oh, Danny Boy. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so there was definitely. Oh no. Okay, they're still there. So there's more trucks. That's where they sectioned off the convoy the last time. Maybe we'll meander over there. Okay, there's nothing. There's certifiably, I suspect, nothing until the other side of Gatineau. I don't know if they've closed this off. Wait, based on the car coming, they have not closed it off. unless travel is restricted on it. Either way. Yeah, an emergency. I'm going to invoke the Emergencies Act. And by the way, appreciate the absolute idiotic hypocrisy. They're going to invoke, or the rumor is, that they're going to invoke the Emergencies Act because the interruption of the economy is a sufficient national emergency to invoke the Emergencies Act. I'm going to make sure that... Oh, yeah. They're going to invoke the Emergencies Act if the rumor is correct, because interrupting the economy is a sufficient national emergency to warrant invoking the Emergencies Act. They invoked the Emergencies Act provincially to paralyze the economy over the last 2 years. And so this is where you just have irreconcilable, mutually exclusive applications of one and the same law for purely political reasons. Can't interrupt the economy. What the Convoy's doing is a national emergency warranting the Emergencies Act. But we're going to shut down the economy, lock people in their homes, only allow essential services through emergency measures to deal with a public health emergency. Yep. Okay, we'll go down. We'll go down here because we haven't been here since day one, and I don't know how much longer this is going to go on for, but also how much longer if there will be anything of interest. I mean, how many people can we interview? How many people can we talk to? I think we've heard as many stories as we're going to hear. The information is out there for anybody who wants it. For any ignorant, uninformed, ill-informed individual who still repeats the trope that this is a hate-filled, white nationalist movement convoy. The information is out there. Do I go there? Do I go there, people? Quickly. Do I go down further to the other section of the Convoy 1, or do I go back to Parliament 2? Let's see what the chat says. Ontario lifting restrictions. Viva, sorry. For caps, it was not an emergency. Oh, okay, it's going too fast. Do slow mode on your stream, sir. Yeah, I didn't set up slow mode. Can't do it now. How's it going?
David?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I love your videos, man.
We're live right now. Do you have any qualms by being on the internet? I'm not recording you.
No.
Let's see. Where are you in from, sir?
I'm from Oakville, and the reason I'm here, I'm with my nephew. He has a rig right up by Parliament Hill. The reason I'm here, obviously, is to support them, to support our drive for freedom, true freedom. I'm here because my son got thrown out of university from being unvaccinated. My nephew, who taught at Fenshaw College in London, taught IT. He was sacked for not being vaccinated. His wife, a nurse, got sacked for not being vaccinated. So that's why I'm here.
Well, sir, what do you have to say to the world who says just get vaccinated if you want to keep your job?
It's all about freedom. My body, my choice. You know, anything that goes into your body has to be an informed decision, number one. And you cannot be coerced in order to do this. It goes against our human dignity.
I like it. Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Have a good one. It's a beautiful answer, and it's a perfect answer. And then you can think of circumstances. You can think of hypotheticals where it's such a dire emergency. It's such a deadly situation. It's so effective and so clearly perfect that you could then maybe think about raising the argument that it could be compelled. But here's the spoiler. Once you've met all those criteria, you don't need to compel it because people would do it willingly. So that's it. It's very cold. Very, very cold. Okay, so here we go. You can see now. Okay, we're here. We're going to go talk with them. I mean, that's the ultimate paradox. Is the only hypothetical where you could, in theory, contemplate compelling something would be a situation so dire you would not have to convince anyone or compel them in the first place. Yeah, we haven't been, so this was day one we came down here. And this is just already appreciates. These look like residential units. Traffic is absolutely unimpeded. There's a lot of green space here, actually. They're gonna one day, every one of their beautiful view is going to be interrupted with a building that's going to go up right here. unless it's this designated green space that they can't develop. So, yeah, that's it. A lot of rumors in the chat, people. We're not getting into it. Go. You can have those discussions. Come to your own opinions. And that is that. Here we go. This is where the convoy has not moved from day one. The street that we're at is Booth Street. I'm getting out of the booth. Who in the chat is going to get that? I'm getting out of the booth. Oh, I want to see if anyone gets that. Who's going to get that reference? Is that a goose behind me? No, that's a bench. Okay, that will be. Oh, Adam Sandler, someone got it. Toll Booth Willie, people. I'm getting out of the booth. Oh my goodness, you ran over Toll Booth Willie. Here's a $1.20. Okay, that was the funniest piece of audio comedy ever. They're all gonna laugh at you. Adam Sandler, childhood classic, and you felt like such a rebel for owning such filthy comedy. This was back when comedy could be funny. Not only did we have freedom of choice, we had freedom to have funny comedy. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, look who is here, Zot. How you doing? Plugging hard and working hard.
Working hard.
How you
12
doing?
hours yesterday.
Amazing.
12.
Did you say, how old are you?
20.
You're 20?
Yeah.
Okay, now, Zot, do you mind being interviewed for the world?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, what did you do before your channel exploded into what it is?
Like in life? Or
Yeah,
what?
what are you doing in life in general?
I'm enrolled into university, but I didn't take any courses because I...
Here, bring it over here. Not that I don't trust traffic in general. Okay.
But yeah, I was in university, but I didn't take any courses yet. So I still felt pretty young. And I felt like I could have been able to do maybe something bigger than university. I don't know yet. But yeah, I'm still enrolled. I might go back whenever, you know.
Enrolled in what?
I'm in economics.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, YouTube's great. The showing you guys all this stuff is great. Viva Praise are great, man. And it's really crazy. To all you guys watching, you guys have to come out here. Like, there's nothing you'll ever see like this. It's insane. The unity, everything, the amount of people, the energy, the love. And I don't know if you were here last night, Friday.
No,
Saturday night.
last night. I was here Saturday during the day, but I've been driving back and forth to Montreal.
Yeah. Like at night, there's so many parties and everything, and it's just so much. Like you can really, when you're here, you feel the love. You know, like you just feel so much unity.
Have
It's
you
great.
felt any hate yet?
Towards me, no. I haven't seen any either. There was one girl that I interviewed. She was wearing a mask. She said that she received hate, but she could have been lying. Who knows? That's the only person who said that. But in general, everyone's peaceful. Everyone's calm, and it's not at all like the way the media portrays it. And that's why you guys have to watch YouTube live streams, because that's where you really see the truth. You know, it's not sugarcoated.
Amazing. Zot?
So,
Godspeed. What's your? Do we know your first name?
Matt.
Matt. All right. Matt, when are you gonna be live? Tell the world.
Soon. I'll be on all day, 12 hours.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah. All right, thank you, man. Seriously,
My
thank you for
pleasure.
helping me.
All right. My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Have a good one.
Take care, man.
See you. All right. That's funny. Zot knows how to work the interwebs. All right. Let's see if we can get an interview with a trucker now. There's a porta potty here, which is good. There's a shovel next to the porta potty, which is bad. No, that's not bad. That's a joke. Here, you see, we got a porta potty, or two porta potties. So I don't know what direction we just went in. If this is something smells so good. Oh my! It's not the porta potty. It's a barbecue. Oh gosh. I'm gonna follow my nose. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Let's run this one by the fact checkers. Oh my goodness. Healthy people don't need to quarantine. Something smells so good. It's a barbecue, and it involves meat on the barbecue. Look at this. This is beautiful. Okay, it might just be a barbecue. Oh no, there's the meat. There's the meat side. Sir, may I video record those sausages? Oh, good people, look at this. Vegans and vegetarians, trigger alert. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, hold on, actually, we need to hear that. The smell cannot be over-described. Oh, what's down here? Oh my goodness. That smells amazing. Thank you. How's it going? Ça va?
Je te vois de temps en temps là, sur les lives.
Ça vous dérange d'être sur une live?
Pas tout.
Ok. On va le faire en français puis je vais le traduire. Vous venez d'où?
De Ottawa.
Puis vous êtes ici depuis
Ben,
quand?
on vient faire notre visite
Quotidienne?
pas quotidiennement, mais régulièrement durant la semaine.
Puis
c'est dans le but d'encourager le monde, parce qu'on sait que quand le party il est pas, là, ben, des fois on vient de remonter le moral des gens.
Absolument. Surtout quand il fait froid, quand il fait tellement froid qu'on gèle, mais même quand il fait tellement froid, les jeunes jouent à l'hockey.
C'est super de voir ça jouer au hockey de même.
It is amazing. Avez-vous eu des mauvaises expériences dans le moindre?
Du tout. Encore, ce que je trouvais drôle le matin, j'écoutais notre premier Doug Ford disant qu'on était en insurrection ici à Ottawa et en plus qu'on était en otage. Moi, là, je vais vous dire, là, depuis tout le début, là, je trouve ça totalement agréable de venir ici en bas. On est capable de parler.
Ouais.
De donner des
embrasses.
Des grosses embrassades. Et de dire la vérité. Je trouve ça super.
Merveilleux. Merci beaucoup. Merci, bye-bye. So he said, Doug Ford said that, the city has been taken hostage and it's never been a more pleasant experience. He's coming here to increase the morale because when the party goes down a little bit, you got to come back and increase morale and let the truckers know that you still support them. So we're at the end of this portion. The trains are still running on time. And I'll tell you one thing, by the way. It's so cold today, I've broken out my Swanee gloves. Now, Swanee mitts, for anybody who doesn't know, hashtag not an ad. They're mitts, and then inside they have the little finger gloves. So it's like a felt finger glove within the mitt. And they're very nice, but even still, my fingers are cold. Okay, it's more of the same. It's just beautiful. We'll walk back now and hit Parliament Hill in terms of scheduling, not physically. And then we will go to the War Memorial, see if Spinny's there. Oh, and just continue talking. People have been, these trucks and these, that's a Winnebago or trailer homes. I mean, they've been here now for 3 weeks. Ben Dichter said 3-week anniversary was on Sunday, I think. Check this out. TikTok Live, KCW, Freedom Convoy. That's a Batman flag by the looks of it. Yep, that's a Batman flag. And what do we got here? We're taking back what's ours. Time to go to the train station. Choo choo, mother effer. All right, well, I understood the first part of that. Time to go to the train station. Dude, I don't get that flag, but I understand we're taking back what's ours. All right. Those sausages smelled like sweet, dripping bacon fat mixed with smoky fire and maple syrup. And I wanted one. I really wanted one, but I can't eat on camera. So growing up in high school, anecdote, story time. Let's do what's that guy's name? He did Vines. Oh, I'll get his name in a bit. He did the best Vines ever, and he did story time. Story time in high school and growing up, I could never look people in the eyes, or I did not like looking people in the eyes. It made me feel very uncomfortable, and I couldn't eat in front of people. So, it made me very uncomfortable to eat in front of people as well. 2 random facts, which I've been holding out on for 10 days now of live streaming. Thanks for the glove shout-outs. Combiner 008. I don't know if anyone has any affiliation with Swanee. I don't even know where I got these. I found them in a drawer in my parents' cottage. So I don't know who they belong to, but if any of my siblings are watching and they're yours, these gloves are mine now. Okay, so let's walk back. This is, there's a little bit of traffic here. Don't exactly know why or how long it lasts for. But this is the main thoroughfare, Bank Street. Is it Bank? It is Bank Street. No, it's Booth Street, sorry. Booth Street is still clear, and you know, the street that we're looking at in front of us where the cops have blocked it off is it called Wellington here? No, it's not called Wellington here, but it only leads up to Parliament. So the idea that the Ottawa city itself is crippled and overrun with traffic and totally unusable and paralyzed. I've been driving within 2 to 3 blocks of the Convoy protest every time I come. Not only do I find a parking spot every time, I haven't once put money in the meter, so, and I haven't gotten a ticket yet. So, yeah, I mean, there hasn't been any, as far as I know, any increase or excessive traffic in the city whatsoever. This idea that the city is under siege, it is just pure fake news of media outlets and politicians abusing of terminology and twisting the words of meanings of words, or just using the words improperly. The city is not under siege. It's not an occupation, unless you just want to bastardize and dilute what those words mean, which is what's been happening for the last little while anyhow. Call everyone a white nationalist. Call Ben Shapiro a white nationalist, an Orthodox Jewish man. Call Ben Dichter. I didn't know that he was Jewish until he mentioned it. Call the spokesperson. Call the Convoy, for which the spokesperson is a Jewish man, a white nationalist movement. I mean, you got to be a special level of dishonest to do that, to even talk like that. I did not know that the co-organizer was an Indigenous woman. I mean, I didn't know these things. I just knew that walking the streets, calling this what the media has been calling it, it's just lies through and through. Oh, so let's get into the story, people. Can anyone remind me of what he did Vines, and they were great comedy Vines, and then he did them on YouTube. Oh, my kids would remember. And he did one called Story Time. He had got a great voice. They were all funny bits. If anybody remembers his name, I'm going to see it in a second. What's his name? It's a 2-name name, first and last. Okay, whatever. Thomas Sanders, thank you. Yes! God darn, the internet is so good. Thomas Sanders Vines. Greatest things ever. They may not want shout-outs from an extreme right-wing dude, if I'm being tongue-in-cheek. Thomas Sanders, hilarious stuff. And the piano guy, Daniel Thrasher. Genuinely awesome comedy stuff. Like, totally not related to politics. Wonderful stuff. Okay. Shout-outs that the people may not have wanted the shout-out, but have been shouted out. What happened on Twitter? A doctor. By the way, the amount of Ontario blue checkmark doctors, MDs, that I've been blocked by are far too high. I've been blocked by, that I know of, maybe a dozen people that I know of. Patricia Arquette, which I think has to be a mistake, because it has to be a mistake. Or maybe like what they say, those block lists. Brian Stetler, recently I discovered I was blocked by him. It's actually like my greatest blue checkmark block. And then doctors. A Liberal MP blocked me. And then doctors, Ontario doctors. And it's outrageous, but I see a tweet. I see a tweet from a situational awareness 360. I see a tweet from a doctor, says MD in her handle, blue check mark, 30,000 followers, referring, and the tweet was to the effect of, if this were anything other than a white supremacist, how you doing? If this were anything other than a white supremacist blockade, the police would have already just, broken it up, taken care of it. And then I retweeted the tweet saying, you're either ill-informed or lying. You either know what you're saying, in which case you're a liar, or you don't know what you're saying, in which case you're ignorant. And I posted one highlight. Then I responded to her tweet on her thread with 4 videos. Big Bull, the Haitian immigrant, and the retired nurse who came out of retirement. 2 people, 2 separate people. So the Haitian immigrant, Oxford comma, and the retired nurse who came out of retirement. The Kuwaiti driver who fled from Kuwait, and the individuals shoveling the snow and ice off of the War Memorial. And I said, boom, 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 boom. And then, sure. I mean, I should have predicted it, but it wouldn't have been so smart. Blocked. And I don't know if when I get blocked, fine, I don't really care to see the person's tweets ever. I only saw that one. I just wonder if people can still see my responses to her dishonest and misinformation tweet. I just hope people can see my responses. But people are so blinded by their foregone conclusions. They can literally see the video with their own eyes. And that video to them will be as exceptional as was the Confederate flag and the Yahtzee flag in reality was to the defining features of this convoy. That's where it gets really depressing. And I have friends who are living in this very same blinder where the more you try to make them understand that this convoy is about as intolerant as a grade of kindergartners, the more you try to make them see that, the more they just dig their heels in, tighten up their blinders, and put their head down and just say, that's exactly what a white supremacist would say. But it's nuts. So that's it. Spread the lies, block the people when they get called out on their lies. It's the playbook. And then you really start to wonder, like, I know everybody always says political operatives, paid yada yada, paid employees, plants, whatever. But you really have to wonder, this woman is purportedly a doctor, blue check mark, can be so ignorant, so intolerant, and then above all else, so thin-skinned and fragile that being called a liar and having the evidence rubbed in your face is then an immediate cause not to reassess and reinform, but to block and just plug ahead with the lie. And you got to be really dedicated, really paid, or really ignorant to adopt that strategy in life. All right. We're almost back here. It's Valentine's Day. Jeez, I got to get back in time. And I got to exercise before dinner. You know, I'll tell you one thing also, by the way. As a lawyer, and I used to work, despite what people think, I used to work long hours. But at Board and Ladner Gervais, you'd be working 10 to 12-hour days consistently. And on the weekends, you'd maybe work 4 or 5 hours. No matter what happened, I would find time to exercise. And I would say I'm not going to get into that position where I'm too busy to exercise, because that's when things go downhill. Now, I do recognize that walking 5 to 7.5 kilometers while streaming, if it's not cardio, it's at least fat burning. But I haven't exercised in 2 days now, and that's when I start to get built up with the nervous energy. So I'm going to exercise before Valentine's Day dinner. And I think we're going to order sushi or something good. I don't know. Still not going to a restaurant. And my wife is totally good with it. And we are on the same page. Before I turn around and we'll get back into the convoy, I think it was my parents who told me, but it's not their expression. A successful marriage is only a question of finding someone with whom you can go crazy. It's about finding someone to go crazy with for the rest of your life. So with that awesome, people saying martial law in the crowd. What could be more martial law than what we've already lived through for the last 2 years? This will be less martial law than the curfews that we had in Quebec. Oh my goodness, Spitty, I said I was going to go to the memorial at the end. How you doing, brother? How you doing? What do you want to say to the world? Same old?
Come down here and see it. That's all I can say.
I put up a highlight of...
yeah.
It's beautiful.
I don't live in Nova Scotia anymore. I'm going to move. Don't come try and find me. How you doing? You got everything okay?
Oh, everything.
Yeah, good, man.
Appreciate it. Let me see your hands for a second. Yeah. Beautiful. Everyone's got to see what the hands of a working person look like. I mean, this is, my God, also they're very, very big hands.
Yeah. Listen, my grandfather was 6'4", and his brother was 6'9". Right, I'm one of the shorter of my male cousins. Yeah.
You guys, are you 5'10"?
6 foot.
Hey,
Well, so 5'11" 3/4 or something. Right?
That's good. With the boots on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm going to head back.
Yeah, please do, man. Keep getting the truth out.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I guess we won't see Spinny at the end, but we've seen him now, and then we're going to go to the memorial. Look what we got here. Strong and free. End mandates. Keep us glorious and free. And Viva Tarantino. We're going to get the flag for full effect. It's going to drape. The wind's going to blow it as we go through. Oh, gosh. I just jacked my arm on the truck. Okay. Oh, would you look at that? They have flags that say F Trudeau. It's the most violent thing I've ever seen. By the way, you listen to... I listen to CJD. It causes an ulcer in my stomach. How you doing, sir?
Good.
I'm going now. I'll put the CJD rant on pause. All's good?
All's good. I'm a resident in your riding.
Oh, really?
And I will support you next time as well if there is a next time.
There won't be a next time.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, there may not be a next time that I run for office. I won't get through here. CJD, how's it going? Sir, you plugging away? You're looking warm? You want to be on camera?
Sure, I don't care.
You've been here for a while?
Day 17.
Oh, man. Where are you? You're sleeping in your car?
My tent.
Look at that. Okay, that's beautiful.
That's it.
This is a nice fishing tent, but we shall be going and make sure no one's naked in there. That would be.
I'm the only guy.
Oh yes, look at. Can I go in?
Oh, absolutely.
And there's nothing in there that would be compromising for the world to see.
Nope.
Got to double check. The live internet is live for. Oh, this is so cool.
It is literally. It's
Okay,
frosted.
so that's frost on top.
Yep. It's all the condensation from any bit of heat in the water.
He's sleeping in here. This is and it stays relatively warm inside.
Yeah, like right now, I'm just trying to de-thaw some water.
trying to thaw out water when it's minus.
Yep.
Minus what? It was minus 14 or 15 today.
About that,
So
yeah.
where are you in from?
Hamilton, Ontario.
Hamilton, Ontario. You're a trucker?
No, utility worker. Still
Okay.
lost my job. Seen the convoy, packed her up, and got here Friday morning.
Amazing. And I mean, overall sentiment. How has this experience been?
Awesome, life-changing, absolutely life-changing. I'm a very introverted person. I would never have talked to you probably 17 days ago, maybe a little bit before that, but no, I'm learning a lot about myself and other people, and just how to give, how to receive even, right? So sometimes receiving's hard too, because you just don't learn, I'm fine, I'm good, right? There's other people that need more, so I don't want to take from them and stuff. And, feeding the homeless and stuff that we've never done before. I was going to give this homeless guy change, and he didn't want my money. He wanted someone to talk to. That's all, so I literally sat on his mat with him for like an hour, and we just kind of talked. I let him talk, right? And I listened. And it's kind of alone there. Everyone just walks by. Our people there are loving them and stuff, right? But the average person who's walking by doesn't even look, right? And those people are invisible. And I think we were all invisible at one point, right? Like now we're all together and we're all being noticed, and we have one common goal, and that is the freedom for a generation that's might not be able to even understand what it was, right? Whereas we're losing it, so we're fighting, right?
Amazing. What's your name? First, I don't care about
Matt.
Matt, nice to meet you.
Right on, dude.
You remind me a lot of an old friend. It's really weird. When you run into people who remind you of old friends, you feel like you already know them better than you do. But
Right on,
Matt,
brother.
Godspeed, God bless.
Yeah, God
Thank
bless
you very
brother.
much.
Have a great one.
You too. That is. Everyone should appreciate. Actually, it was really comfortably warm in there. If I had one of those for fishing, I might never. I know my mother-in-law bought me a small one for ice fishing, but it's such a pain in the neck to put up that I've regressed to just sitting on the ground and freezing my butt off. I hope everyone heard that. Did everyone hear that? Because that was, it's very interesting. The thing about being homeless and the experience that I've had talking to people is they oftentimes don't need money, don't really need food, in the sense that it would make any lasting difference, but they just don't want to be ignored. They don't want to have their existence basically shrugged off by every passerby. But those are tough, obviously much tougher social problems to tackle. But Matt was in from, what do you say, Hamilton? Day 17. And interesting to see how he says it's changed his perspective of interacting with other humans. This experience here, if you spend a couple days, would be enough to change the way people feel and have been feeling for the last 2 years. Seeing people without face masks. I mean, I've been off that fear bandwagon for a long time, but a lot of people aren't. Just seeing people actually smile and seeing their faces and seeing kids look at adults without masks, it's amazing. Now I'm going to show you this. I'm not going to, well, here. Égalité pour tous, vaccinés ou pas. Equality for all, vaxxed or not. No vax passes, no mandates. Teddy bears. And this may be considered vandalism. If anybody wants to consider it that, it's a sticker on a government sign. It's paper, I can tell you that much. I'm not pulling it off. It's not my business to. A message to the police. Your children and grandchildren are going to have to live in the world that you are policing into existence. Is this really the kind of world you want them to grow up in? The White Rose, t.me/join the White Rose, or joint key quit eRose. So I don't know what that is. Not an endorsement. I don't know what that is, but a relatively poignant message, because speaking of what Matt just said, like, our next generation of kids are not even going to know what freedom was. But I'll tell you one thing. My kids are going to know about it because they're going to get it back. And I'm going to tell them. But the idea that social distancing 2 meters, wearing a face mask, vaccine passports. I went to a Fish concert. I don't know if I've already mentioned this. Sugarbush. I went to the Fish concert in Sugarbush, and I'd say, based on activities that I was involved in at that time of my life, it had to be 1995. It was, there were 15 to 25,000 people there. It was like a Grateful Dead. Obviously, their performances were always very Grateful Dead-y in terms of how long they went on for, how many people were there. It was the most imprinting experience ever, and I still remember it. It was at the base of Sugarbush. Just, how's it going? Long time no see. You're hearing my fish anecdote. Inception. He's listening to the story. Now he's going to hear the end of it. There was like 10, 15,000 people shoulder to shoulder listening to Fish. And then I walked up about halfway up the ski hill, and you could see the crowd, the heads, the stage, and it was the most surreal experience of my life. But our kids, like, they're going to think that, going to a rock concert is like a medical procedure where you need to show papers, be of a certain medical class in order to have the privilege to mingle, where we now know what we now know about all of this stuff. Do I go down or do I go? No, I'll go this way. There are going to be kids thinking, growing up with their new normal, and it's going to be their normal because there's nothing new to compare it to. Adults wear masks, social distancing. Parents can't pick up their kids in daycare. There's going to be kids growing up thinking that is normal, because that has now been their reality since they have had consciousness. And it's not anything anybody should ever think is normal to get used to. Do I do it? Do I do it? No. There's a little kid over here. Beautiful. So let's see, parle en français de temps en temps, s'il vous plaît. All right, on va parler en français puis on va le traduire par la suite. Ça fait depuis 2 ans, je n'ai plus droit d'accéder à l'école de mes enfants. Donc, quand on amène nos enfants à l'école puis quand on vient les chercher, il faut le faire à l'extérieur parce qu'on n'a plus le droit de rentrer dans l'école. Puis c'est pas normal. Je suis pas certain que je serai invité dans l'école après tout cela, même si les restrictions sont levées. And just the translation, for 2 years, we haven't been able to go into our kids' school. We drop them off outside, pick them up outside, and my joke was that I'm not sure that after this is all over, even if they lift the restrictions, the school may not invite me back in, because I may or may not have had not an altercation by any means, but just a very polite disagreement with another parent who happens to be a doctor when I was asked to wear a mask outside while picking up the kids. And I said, why would I do that? Like, how far from the school do I have to be to not wear a mask? And that was my response, humorously like that. But it's amazing how you doing? It's amazing how one experience of someone busybodying into your own literal physical existence is enough to sour a relationship.
Where's the dog?
Oh, it's still too cold. I don't think I'm ever bringing the dog. My excuse is going to be it's too cold, but I'm not bringing Winston. Oh yeah, so someone had asked last time, show some of the billboards on the Parliament fence.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
You're not on camera. Do you want to be on camera? Okay.
Where are you from?
Montreal.
Montreal.
You're from
Saskatchewan. I'm one of the truckers.
You're one of the, oh, do you want to talk? No. Okay, because I don't know. Some people don't want to be on camera if they get seen in Ottawa. Ma'am, so you're from Saskatchewan. You're with the Convoy?
I am. I'm with the Convoy. I left on January the 24th.
And January the 24th from Saskatchewan.
Yes.
Where have you been parked in this entire time?
Some of the time at the Camp 88, but now I'm in prime location on Kent and Albert.
So how does that work? Where are the various camps of the trucks?
They're at the Embrun area. Just because we couldn't all fit down here, we were far away. So we're at Embrun, and there is about 60 trucks there, and we're looking really cared for, and food and showers.
Everybody has what they need financially, food-wise and shelter-wise.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
You found
Yes.
him. He's been looking for you for a week.
Well, we're gonna. What do you have to say to the world before we end up? How has this experience been for you?
It's been absolutely amazing, and it's brought the world together. We're all united, and together we can move mountains.
Awesome. Nice to meet you. Thank
Well,
you very
thank
much.
you.
Sir, you don't mind being on the web?
A big fan, not at all.
All right,
big fan.
Where are you in from?
Innisfil, Alberta.
Innisfil, Alberta. You here with the Convoy?
No, we got in about a week ago.
How did you drove?
Yeah, with just our half ton.
You were the large inspiration to it. He watched you every day.
Subscribed
3
for a
hours,
couple years.
3 hours,
Fantastic. So you've been watching it, and then you say,
It inspired us. It resonated with us. So we watched it. I had to work a few days, and we packed up the truck and left.
How long a drive is that?
3,600 kilometers.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way, just so everybody knows, I don't know how far Canada's coast to coast. That's almost as far as it can be, unless you go coast to coast.
Yeah.
You have to go. Where is it? Up north, and you have to go south and then across.
Yeah, we're about 100 kilometers north of Calgary. So down to Highway 1 and hang a left.
And how long are you here for?
As long as we can stay.
So you do have a job to go back
I
to?
I do, but I have more holidays.
Okay.
So-
Amazing.
Job to go back to. I can stay
Yeah.
and hold the line
Did
with
you
everybody
have? Do I dare ask the policy question? Have you
No.
else. I
have you
did not
suffered-
do any of the
Okay.
policy.
No.
No, we don't follow that.
But we've been looking for you for days. I'm so
Well,
happy. You're a hero. You're a hero.
But a man with a camera. What are you guys doing for Valentine's Day?
Excuse me, it's express my change. It's
I
bad.
don't have
I'm
anything.
not.
I'm sorry.
sorry.
That's another thing I have. Nothing left by
No,
policy.
we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
either. We have to carry them.
What are you guys gonna do? Are you gonna? First of all, where are you staying? Are you gonna?
We're out in a hotel. right
Okay,
now.
good. So that's it.
For
So
now.
you'll have a nice romantic dinner, and you'll come down and party tonight.
Well,
Well, we're
you-
not allowed to go out to have dinner, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can do it. I'm allowed. I still refuse to do it, but you can do what my wife would do, just eat in the car, which is very, very romantic these days.
Very.
Well, actually, we have a barbecue that we brought, so we'll probably just barbecue some burgers on our tailgate.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
So that's
But you're awesome.
Amazing.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
I'm so glad we see you. He almost walked right by you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. I'm easy to walk by. You know what you're looking for.
He was right past you. I said, hey.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And I promised too many Quebecois to work on my français.
Oh, okay. He's gonna work. Well, sorry. Il va travailler sur son français.
I promise.
Amazing.
I'm going to take 1 second.
Oh yeah, please go for it. Go for it.
To show you
We see
something,
it.
because I know you've seen a dog, right?
Oh gosh, we're gonna see. It's gonna be another American bulldog, I think.
Oh, sorry, it's Mick.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to see anything on your phone.
No, that's fine. I don't have anything that's anyone can use. I just wanted to show you the picture that my son sent me. This is what I'm missing at home.
Yeah, we couldn't.
Saved my 2 dogs, my cats, and my 24-year-old son. This is what our inspiration for being here too. Yeah.
We miss the dogs, but we'll stick.
Yeah, that's it. Amazing.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Have a good one.
I do want to delete people for sharing freedom and peace, love, and unity. Like that platform is going to go down so quick. They've lost what's it, $250 billion to Facebook. That's the only reason. And then you know what? I think there's a new one called Truth Platform coming out. Donald Trump or whatever. I mean, even if you don't like Donald Trump, as long as you the word truth and you can say the truth, I'll be over there, and so will everybody else. So, how you doing, brother?
Braveheart, how you doing?
It's Mr. Freedom, best damn roofer. Are you a YouTuber?
Oh yes, I am. We're live right now.
Okay. Hey,
Let me
buddy,
see.
how you doing?
We got
Best damn roofer.
almost 20,000. Okay, 20,000. Say it.
Freedom!
I meant
How you doing?
best damn roofer.
Best damn roofer here, and I'm all the way from Niagara, and I'm coming here. I sold my Muskoka property. I got a bank full of money. I got a fucking loud voice, and I'm gonna be screaming freedom until they drop the mandates or until they put me in jail for publicly protesting peacefully. They probably want to do that, but
Sir, nice to meet you.
you want one more freedom to send you
Go
on
for
your
it.
way?
Go for it.
Freedom!
That would explain why your throat is sore, man.
I've
Keep
been
it
doing
up.
that for 7 days now.
Oh, that's fantastic. Sir, how's it going? I don't want anything. I just want to show what is here for everyone. This is like cookies, coffee, hand warmers. Thank you.
A lot of love.
A lot of love.
A lot of love.
Cheery. That's Fruit Loops. The soup smells good. Darn it, the soup smells good. One day, I'm gonna come and not live stream, and I'm gonna eat something. I'm gonna eat so much. I'm gonna puke. I'm gonna eat sausages, stew. I'm gonna drink coffee. I'm gonna skip breakfast. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna skip breakfast one day, and then I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna do a cooking video, and I'm gonna compare all. No, I won't compare the food, but I'm gonna skip breakfast one of these days next time, and eat some of the stuff. Hey, how's it going? See, I'm recognizing similar. Oh, that's what I said I was gonna do. I'm recognizing faces. Someone had said, I don't remember where. It was in the chat. They want to see the signs on the fence. So what I'm gonna do, you may or may not find this interesting. I'm going to turn the camera around and then read the signs that are here. And you want to say hi to the interwebs as well?
Sure, but to say hi to you.
Where are you in from?
Bruce County.
Bruce County. So you coming for the day, or you've been in for a few days?
Coming for a few days.
How do you find it?
Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been watching your live streams and just loving it and getting a real sense of here. So.
And you're here with family. You got 3 kids.
I have 4 kids.
4 kids.
Thank you.
That's been fantastic.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Anyway, thanks for what you do.
My pleasure. My pleasure. See you soon. So I'm going to read these signs, and then I may give commentary. Trudeau, WEF, flee home to Davos. We see you. By the way, everyone should look up who in the, not just the Liberal Party, but Canadian, or in the Canadian government are on or related to the WEF. It's kind of crazy. Jagmeet Singh, Chrystia Freelander, and I don't know, like they're on the trustees, and I don't know what their roles are exactly, but there are far too many Canadian politicians with affiliations to the World Economic Forum that could cause a reasonably cynical person to question where their loyalties lie. Do their loyalties lie to the nation that they represent, or to a global community that might not be so interested with our, national interests? How's it going?
We've been watching you
We're from Saskatoon.
Do you mind being on the webs? Yeah, you hesitate. No, don't.
Sure, not a problem.
Okay, Saskatoon. If I may ask the obvious question, what brought you here?
You and Laura Lynn.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We've been glued to the screen since the Convoy started.
It is. I mean, even when I'm not streaming, I'm still watching some of the other guys streaming. Is it not been the most amazing thing you've ever seen?
It is.
And to be down here. You know, what you see on TV, what we see with you and Laura Lynn, that's what it's like.
It is.
It's really
all
like
the goodwill and freedom for choice. Oh, I tell you, that's so important.
You guys are born and raised in Canada? Saskatoon?
Yep.
And parents-wise?
Yes.
No, I mean, what to say? Like,
Oh,
how many generations Canada?
Oh, yes. Lots.
Ours would be three.
Three.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in your lifetimes, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, this is so important. I don't think people realize that we are losing our freedoms. People have become way too complacent. And this is a wake-up call. Thank goodness. We need it.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
So good.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good one. Oh, so yeah, look at the Canadian politicians who are affiliated with the WEF in particular. There's a meme out there. There's like over a dozen. Just double check each and individual one, but just Google Jagmeet Singh World Economic Forum. Google Chrystia Freeland World Economic Forum, and then come to your own conclusions as to what it means, if anything. But just know that it's the case before coming to conclusions. So this says un pour tous et tous pour la liberté. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. One for liberty and one for all and all for liberty. God save Canada. I don't want a Fauci juice to play soccer. Thank you, truckers, for fighting for my freedom. Enough is enough. And we got one, you're putting up one here. It says, exclusion is never the way forward on our shared paths to freedom and justice. Desmond Tutu. Thank you very much. Thank you, truckers. How you doing? Oh, you got good gloves, too.
Oh, yes, and I got one. Would you like a roll of
Mentos, have I never said no to this? I'm going to have this. This will keep me up on the drive home.
Hey.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Thanks. Mentos, the fresh mica. And those are like, they look like grape ones. All right, this one says, nous avons besoin de respirer librement. We need to be able to breathe freely. Nous sommes fiers d'être Canadiens. Amour, soutien, partage, paix, liberté. We are proud to be Canadians. Love, support, peace, sharing, and liberty. Freedom for Canada. Stop mandatory Fauci juicing. God, I'm going to keep doing that just because it's really gross. Thank you, truckers. We love you, truckers. All right, I'm just going to walk slowly and maybe stop talking. Garbage bag filled with garbage that these insurrectionist protesters have been making sure to keep off the streets. God save, oh God, heal our country. Dieu guérit notre pays. God heal our country. Stop. This is clearly written by a kid, and I think that's the purpose of it. It says stop mandates. Stop, stop, stop. Please. That says police. I mean, I'm not saying that to be glib. I mean, that's a kid.
Okay, Mr. Fry.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you out here.
Thank you. Thank truckers. Oh, Canada. Okay. Medic, okay. Uni, so there's a portion of that. So I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it just doesn't end. I want to grow up in a free country. How's it going? Good. I want to grow up in a free country. Muzzles are for dogs. Police watch, join freedom team. That's the real thing. It's like, if and when the police say we're not doing what we just saw them doing in Windsor yesterday. Once the police say enough is enough, you like to wish that maybe they'll say we're not doing this anymore. Not arresting protesters. Not enforcing these mandates. Fully loaded with hope, Justice for Justin. Go Truckers. Thank you for fighting for us. And it just goes on. Freedom is essential. You imagine these politicians have not missed a paycheck in all of this. They were already filthy wealthy to begin with. And ask yourself how that happens. Separate issue. Ask how they get so filthy wealthy in the first place, but haven't missed a paycheck while protecting us. Here, look at this.
My shoulder gave out like an hour ago. No, that's what I'm saying. We can take steps. All right.
Oh, so there's police up there and there's people in there. Okay. How you doing?
Man, I watch your videos all the time.
Well, you want to be in one?
Sure.
What do you say to the world?
Peace and love from Ottawa.
Are you you're local?
Yeah.
And how has this been?
It's amazing. I lost something for this country years ago, and this has completely rekindled it. I didn't think Canadians would come together like this. I didn't think so much peace and love and unity existed in this country, and I hope the rest of the world gets to see a bit of this, and it spreads to you too.
I don't know if anyone's going to hear anything over the Sir. I met you last week. Lindsay. Here we go. Hey. I gotta get a picture of him and you. All right. How you doing? Good. How's your brother doing? He's good. Didn't get arrested. Thank you. Thanks very much. My pleasure. Okay, we're gonna go away from that the drum. I don't know what that drum sounds like through the phone, because like the mic can only pick up on so much of the deep bass. But when they bang on that drum, I can feel it in my chest. All right, now we're walking back towards the center part. Oh, a message I think we should all be appreciating right now. CBC. Can you imagine how much different the world would be if the media did its job? I guess I should specify that. Hello. How you doing? You want to say hi to the world? Sure. All right. What do you have to say? Where are you guys in from?
We're Bontan, Ontario.
How far away is that?
About 5.5 hours.
Yeah. Are you down for the day, the weekend?
We were here for yesterday and today.
And you're going back tonight or tomorrow?
2 hours.
How has
pretty much right after the verdict here. 4:30, the vote.
What's the say it loud? What's the vote on?
I don't know exactly, but
the mandates on the mandates.
If they're dropping the mandates, federal mandates or not.
Oh, really?
But then Trudeau's supposed to be coming on.
Trudeau's supposed to be coming out and speaking to the convoy?
No, not the convoy. No,
he's going to be
making a speech at 4:30.
They're here. Like, the people are actually here doing their jobs in Parliament itself.
Yeah, apparently so.
Okay. Well, I might have to stick around for a few more hours then.
Take a picture.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, we got a sign here. Oh, just gonna.
It's awesome meeting you. Awesome. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Enjoy. We'll see what happens with the news. Sir, how you doing?
How you doing?
Another man with a Canadian flag on a hockey stick. This is the icon of freedom right now. It's a hockey stick Canadian flag. How you enjoying this?
Loving it, and so proud of our truckers and all the people here, and just what a blessing to be here. Have you heard any news?
No, I mean, I'm detached from the internet when I'm on my phone streaming, so I'm following the chat. If anyone in the chat knows any news, real news, not rumors, put it in there so we can see. But so apparently there's going to be a vote. If the vote's going to be on the mandates or on the whether or not to invoke the emergency.
Whether or not to invoke the emergency.
We might see some real drama this afternoon if they say no. Now, if they say no, that's the end of Trudeau. If they say no, end of Trudeau. So hold on. It's 2:20. We've been live for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Started live at about 12:45. So it's now. Is it 3:15? It's 3:15.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So
good seeing you again.
All right. Thank you.
I'm going, man.
Go ahead. Have a good one. Okay, so we're going to see. I don't know if I'm going to be in the car on the way home. We'll see how long we can go for. I do need to get
How you doing? I do need to get home for Valentine's Day. Oh, the smells when you're hungry. Hold on. Right now, it looks like I have the weirdest hairdo ever. Okay, here. Let's just see this. More. There's a lot more Bristol board things. I'm not going to read that one. Open debate, don't dictate. Oh, sorry. That's not how Canadian government works anymore, whoever made that one. Thank you, truckers. How's it going?
Thank you, brother.
Stealing gas from truckers is legal, but buying it for them is illegal. Oh, yeah. You know what? And we're going to talk a bit about a big story that Rebel News just put out yesterday. Rebel News, Ezra Levant, David Menzies, Isabelle, I forgot her last name, Alexa Lajoie, or is it Lavoie? I forget. I'm getting mixed up. Doesn't matter. Rebel broke a story yesterday that basically they've got a voice recording of a police officer, I don't know if it's RCMP or provincial police, confirming that they disabled an excavator, not a tractor. I was corrected by the chat, or corrected by Twitter. They disabled an excavator. They confirmed that they disabled 3 excavators. And then apparently the video footage of how they disabled the excavators involved clipping solenoid cable battery things, like putting, I don't know what they do, but like really, some would say disable, others would say vandalize. And I don't know how you get a truck like that back, or an excavator like that back in operation. But RCMP, chat saying RCMP. V is for Viva. That could be a shirt. So anyways, and Rebel News has a voice recording of the guy relatively unabashedly saying, we can confirm that we disabled 3 excavators. So unless it's somebody who didn't know what he was talking about, made up the story that he didn't know what he was saying, it's kind of a big story that the government is surreptitiously vandalizing trucks, excavators, whatever. And by the way, they had apparently asked them, whoever owned the excavators, to park them far away from the highway so that they wouldn't be visible from the highway for whatever the reason. Ostensibly, so it would be easier for them to vandalize them, disable them. All right. Now we're gonna have audio issues because of this song. How do I mute? You know what? Maybe I'll just mute for a second. By the way, it's so irritating that these copyright trolls literally claim the video because you have background incidental music that's barely audible, and proves to be a big pain in the neck. We're going to go see the Terry Fox Memorial. Didn't see that the last time. Here we go. Fight for our rights till death or rapture. Truckers for freedom. We are not rats. Stop tyranny. Been scared for 2 weeks. That's why he hasn't been engaging. because he's got no way to engage in. He's because he's I don't want to say an idiot. He's set it up that he has no way out of this. He has no way out of this because the only way out of it for him is an implausible out. It would be an unfeasible out, which would be like a total crushing of the rebellion. So he's just what's the word? Not invoked, but utilized every tool that he has at his federal disposal, which is a bought media, censorship online, blue check mark amplification of nonsense, which is propagated itself by the fake news that they subsidize. They've been using all of that ammunition, but it's had some impact. Some people, I think, have potentially been swayed by it, but you can fool some people some of the time and some people all of the time, but I screwed that up. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Oh. No camping. No camping. Oh. Declare a state of emergency. What is this? Oh, look at that. The Eskimo Quick Fish GI. I'd like to know how long it takes to set this thing up. And here we got the war memorial that had been fenced off for, I believe, 9 days. And what is this? What is this vandalism here? Those are leftover flower petals. Look at this. It's a beautiful memorial. We haven't actually been up to it. So it says, I hope you can see this. It says, "Here lie the remains of Canada's unknown soldier. Please treat this grave with respect. Ici repose les restes du soldat canadien inconnu. Nous vous prions de respecter cette tombe." And we'll just walk around it to see how it has in fact been respected. Probably more so than it is in normal times. Hey, how you doing? Absolutely. Oh, how you doing? It's a little cold. Oh, sorry guys. How's it going? Yeah, my fingertips are getting there.
Oh yeah. Oh, come on.
Your fingertips are so cold that your phone's not registering them. There we go. I'll take this off.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm back to the warm one. They took down the fence last time I was here, and now I'm just doing the 360, making sure it's still clean.
Yeah.
For the entire world to see in real time. Have a go, man. February 2022. You fought for our freedom. I came here to support our freedom and to stand united. Love, peace, and respect for Canada and the world. That looks like Angela. And then any other messages we can read here? So I'm just gonna walk around. There's a rose here. I mean, I get angry. I mean, I just really get angry every time it comes back up. This is what people think has been desecrated, vandalized by the convoy. You know, the Spinney, the gentleman with the majestic beard that we saw at the far end, has been sitting here shoveling the snow with other veterans, keeping watch over this. And the media comes out and says that the protest, the convoy, was desecrating and vandalizing.
Hey, Viva.
How you doing?
I wanted to. My channel got struck and I can't stream for a week.
Oh, you want to be on the webs?
Sure.
We've met before, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Oh,
I've got
okay.
like 7K. I've got 7,000 followers.
So,
not as popular as this guy.
No, get it. Tell the world what happened.
No, so I was streaming. I've been here. I've got like 7,000 followers.
Mac, I remember
Mac
now.
John. Not as big as Viva Frey or Ottawa, but I'm a little guy. I'm here. So I've been streaming every day, and I got like 30 emails from people that follow me, and they're like, "Why are you not streaming?" And I've been trying all day, but YouTube actually gave me 2 strikes, one a warning and a strike, for not just live stream, but I saved a highlight. You know, you can highlight and save. It was unlisted, So they gave me a strike for a video that was not even
Well,
posted.
was it a copy strike or a content like a?
It was a content medical misinformation.
Uneffing believable.
And honestly, it was funny.
Come walk with me so we can get away from the noise a little bit. And come on this side here. Okay, so medical misinformation.
Yeah.
And walk a little bit more to the sun so I can try to warm up my fingertips.
Yeah.
What do you know? What the word? Don't say the words. Don't get much out. What was it? An interview with a person?
No. It was one of the doctors was in the background, and it was when there was a guy
giving speeches.
No, it was a replay of a guy talking.
Was it Dr. Francis Christian by any chance?
I don't know if it was, but then there was also, and then I got when the video of the premiere.
That was this way.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to figure out
so
to keep the mic away from the noise. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So it was of the guy on the screen, and he was in the background. I wasn't even focused on it. The noise of him was in the background. And so I was trying to do it on Rumble, but I'm having problems on the app. What do you use?
I'm using Rumble. We're live on Rumble, live on YouTube through StreamYards. So shut up. MacJon, MAKJON.
Yeah.
Did you file an appeal?
Yeah, and they in 30 seconds they got back and they were like, nope. It was like automated almost. Like it was.
Are you on Twitter?
No. I was very anti-social media. I did just start a TikTok and an Instagram.
Get on Rumble and Rumble. If you're watching, get on Twitter.
I have a Rumble, and it's actually the exact same. It's here it is. It's MacJon, all one word.
Okay, so MacJon, MAKJON on Rumble.
And I was trying to actually.
You may not be able to live stream. I don't know what the criteria are for live streaming.
You have to buy into it, and I did, and I was doing it on the app, but the app you can't. It was not giving me an option. And then I was doing it through the online, and it let me do a live stream, but it wouldn't connect to my camera. So I was out here doing the old-fashioned YouTube where I'm like, oh, I'll record it and upload. Guys, I can't record, post, or anything for a week. I can't even tell my followers what's happening. I don't have other social media. I had about 30 people email me, though. It was very nice of my followers to be concerned about me because they're like, oh, did you get arrested?
Yeah, no,
it was cool. Fuck. And walking, it's like 2008 for me right now. I'm walking around just recording video. No chat, no one talking. It's fucking alone out here. But again, I was trying to find you, and normally I could find you quick because my followers, I'd be like, where is Viva? Where is this guy? And then tell me. So I've been walking around for an hour trying to run into you or somewhere, Ottawa.
Well, so everybody, you know it now. And hold on. Everyone can hold on.
You have a card?
I don't have a card. My fingers are so... Here, hold this 1 second.
Okay, of course.
Continue.
Where are you from originally?
Montreal. We're Canadian.
J'habite dans le Montréal maintenant. J'ai de manger pour femme.
All right, MacJon. So here's the deal. Your channel is still up.
Yeah.
So everyone everyone go to MacJon, get the handle, and then tweet it out to YouTube. What is it? Team YouTube.
Yeah.
And apparently this I have not verified or vetted this information. What we're being explained is that the channel has been taken down.
Not down. It's strike.
Sorry, got a strike, so you can't upload or live stream for a week.
Yeah.
Because in the background, a doctor was giving a speech at the Convoy, and he was giving a speech, or it was a replay of an older speech.
Replay, and then yesterday, the one I got strike for, I was just watching the speeches and I was highlighting them. And actually, I think it was one speech, a little bit of a doctor. My plan was to actually do a reaction to it and search his facts. So maybe I could have been even going against him because I wanted to talk to maybe another doctor to be like, what do you think of this guy saying this? And it would have been content that the left would have maybe liked or something. But
So I'll invite everybody who's on Twitter to do this. That's the story.
Oh, that's
you can clip this piece, tweet it out to Team YouTube, and ask if this makes sense so that MacJon can get back to documenting in real time.
It wasn't even posted or anything. Like, I did it for the sake of downloading later. So, and no one's seen it.
No,
so
that was publicly. I had a very similar experience because when I was testing a live stream, I tested it with a Dude Perfect video. Unlisted, I was the only one watching it. Algorithmically, it got picked up and I got a warning, and they finally removed the warning.
Yeah.
Because I explained the whole situation, but it took a long time.
Yeah, but the emails.
What are we in here? 2 hours, 34 minutes. Guys, clip this section, the 1 minute, tag Team YouTube, and try to get them to help.
This guy's very nice. He's a nice guy. Thank you. I'm in Montreal, so I wouldn't mind to exchange. I'll try and email you.
Yeah, you'll find me.
Okay, I commented on 3 of your videos. Like
I'm looking for it.
Who are you?
MacJon. I got striked and I can't fucking stream right now.
Oh, sorry, man.
It's okay.
Viva!
You want to say hi?
Hey.
You're on the internet.
How are you, man?
You want to be on the internet?
Yeah.
Okay,
my name is Mark.
Mark, look, he's got the frost of freedom.
The
freedom
I've been
frost.
out here a while.
I'm saying you're in a very thin jacket. My fingertips are freezing off.
No, you know what? This is a heated jacket.
No
I don't
way.
have the battery in it right now.
But I have a big battery to charge my phone.
Well, so are you streaming as well? 'Cause you got a good.
I was streaming, but I only streamed for 1 hour because my battery went dead. Then I got this huge Milwaukee battery, but
oh man,
it's not working out well.
Well, what were you streaming to?
YouTube.
What's your channel?
Bacon Ranch.
Bacon?
Bacon Ranch.
BACON.
Yeah, like the salad dressing.
Bacon Ranch, people. And what is the nature of your content?
Well, mostly I do homesteading stuff, firewood. I have a firewood business. I was in Winnipeg and I moved to Green Valley, about halfway to your home, about 3 years ago. And fed up with stuff, just have to come out and support. And I've been trying to live stream for a while. Finally found an app that would allow me to do it without 1,000.
StreamYard?
Pyramid, is it?
Okay, well, you can use StreamYard's good.
StreamYard?
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, because you need it if you. So you're on a platform, not YouTube, because you don't have.
Yeah, I had to get another app to get up to 1,000 subs. But.
So you're on YouTube. You are Bacon Ranch.
Yeah.
Looking for you.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I was looking for you too. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
It's great to have the truth unvarnished. I was recording a global news team when I got here about an hour ago, and the guy was tentative about doing an interview, and he did. And a lot of people were commenting he shouldn't have done it. And I was like, but I'm filming them as well, and it seemed like it was pretty tame. So,
okay,
so it'll be
good.
interesting to see what they do with us.
Awesome.
Thank you, Viva.
Nice to meet you.
Take care.
Thank you. You too. All right, sir. Hold on.
Hey, Viva.
I'm just trying to get my fingertips are getting to the very, very cold region. So where are you from?
You need some hand warmers?
Yeah. Do you have any?
I got some in
No,
my car.
don't. I'm good. I think I'm only out here for another hour anyhow.
All right.
So where are you?
From Drayton Valley, Alberta.
Draytonville, Alberta.
Drayton Valley.
Drayton Valley, Alberta.
World oil capital of the world.
What do you do for a living?
I'm actually an operator for oil and gas, but I can't work right now because of the mandate. Because through OH&S, the big oil companies have gone with backdoor mandate, and that's why with Kenny saying that the mandates can still be used by companies, that allows, like, I don't want to name all the oil companies, but they won't hire you unless you got the vaccine. So I haven't had a job since September, and it just keeps on. Every time I go in for an interview, it's just, do you have a vaccine?
It's what are you doing to make ends meet right now?
Just living off savings. Just a good thing I had savings. Yeah, that's why I'm here till these mandates are done. But yeah, I've been following you. I'm actually a subscriber to your channel.
Well, it's apparently we might have some news today, so we'll see if it's either progress or regression.
I heard that. Yeah.
What's your name?
Aaron.
Aaron. Nice to meet you.
I'm
I can't take my gloves off.
Oh,
I feel like a little
it's
sissy, but
cold.
it's
there's
freaking cold.
supposed to be something at 3.
Yeah, about it at 3:30, 4:30. I'm getting some mixed answering in the chats, but there's going to be news, people, so we'll see.
All right. Well, it's good meeting.
The same. Have a good one.
Yeah.
All
Can I
right.
get a selfie?
Absolutely.
Real quick.
My nose is so red.
I know, my hand's shaking.
All right. Let's do it. We've spoken before. Have we met each other yet or no?
I don't think so.
Well, do you mind talking?
Absolutely.
Okay, where are you both from?
We came from Regina together.
Regina, Saskatchewan. How far drive is that?
27,000.
Well, 27, yes. 2,670.
Okay, 2,700 kilometers. That's a fair ways.
Yeah.
How long have you been here for?
We got here on
Saturday. Yes, it was actually Saturday. We left Thursday, it was Saturday. You're
We
right.
got here on Saturday.
Of this week?
Yeah.
Okay, how long are you staying?
Undetermined. We
Nice.
laid some plans because we're like, oh, we should only go for a week, but things are up in the air, right? With what's going on. They have those votes today, those meetings. Do they need us on the ground? We're kind of going to play it by ear and do what
Fantastic.
needs to be done.
What do you do, if I may ask, what do you do for a living?
I'm unemployed now. I got laid off from Saskatchewan. I got fired. And
Because
I
don't ask the personal question, policy reasons?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can everybody appreciate how many people we've spoken to now who have lost their jobs because of these policies? And I would never ask. It's none of my business. It's none of my business. But okay, so you're so you get your own unpaid administrative leave or just?
No, I haven't received any unemployment since November of last year. So, and then it'll all be out. Whether I get back pay for that or not, that's what we're holding, right? But I might not even get that. So I was just been living off of my savings. And then I decided to fundraise a little bit. There's a couple of people that support and watch what I'm sharing.
Where are you fundraising? I don't want to say GoFundMe, but is it on another platform?
Absolutely not that garbage.
Good. No, not that anybody should ever use GoFundMe again if they shouldn't. Where can people support if they want to help you?
Buy me a coffee and / Kim Borma, I believe it's under.
Buy me a coffee / Kim
Borma.
BOE RMA.
I'm also on Facebook as Kimberly Ann, and all my links are there too, so it's
okay.
easier to find.
This is not an endorsement or vetting. I have not done any verification or due diligence, but this is the question. A lot of people, whether or not they've set up, nobody should set up a GoFundMe. Lose the term like Google. They should set up a Give, Send, Go, or I don't know what Buy Me a Coffee is, but Buy Me a Coffee / Kim
Borma.
Borma. BOERMA.
Nailed it.
Okay, awesome.
Nailed it.
Sir? We'll get into the sun. It'll go a little better. And so you guys, are you staying in a hotel? Or are you staying in
We're staying in his truck.
Amazing.
Drove in his truck. I actually ended up at a nice friend's condo last night because he just found us on the side of the road and he was renting. And it's literally bringing everybody together. I don't know him. Drove across the country, stayed the night with random new friends. It's uniting everybody, it's bringing everyone together, and it's kind of great because I'm finding my real people. I'm finding my soul tribe, and it's really amazing. So sleeping in a vehicle some nights, can't even talk properly.
It's really cool. People have to appreciate how cold it is. It's cold and it's windy now.
And how amazing though, we're still out here. You can't stop Canadians. This is Canadian camping, right? It's still cold as F, but it's not going to stop us. But yeah,
fantastic.
Derek has a great story.
Derek, what's your story?
I don't know. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's see here. Let's start on the other side of the road so we can get in the sun. Come, we're gonna get. Hold on. Am I gonna pick it up? It's a quarter, people. I'm gonna leave it for somebody else. I can't do it. It's not worth it. It's gonna stick to my fingers. Oh,
yeah, my voice is gone. So honestly.
All right, Derek. Now let's get some the angle. I like the sun lighting here. Okay, what's your story? Start from the beginning. How much did you weigh when you were born?
Actually, I was premature. I was a premature baby, but let's fast forward here. So I want to say this: I've never met this person in my life until actually a couple days ago that I met through a friend that I haven't seen in 10 years, and I want to say that I gave up. Just like a lot of vets, why? So I'm an Afghan vet, very proud. That's why I'm here. When I saw our government literally allow $87 billion. They didn't even say anything. We're in Afghanistan, and next thing you know, the Taliban are the 5th largest air force in the world. I'm just saying that affected me. All COVID, everything affected me. I gave up. It wasn't until the truckers that actually rolled through Regina, and I went to it. I got out of my house and my little, my sadness and feeling sorry for myself. I got out, I went to it, and then I was like, I'm gonna go join this thing. I drove out of Regina, I joined the convoy, and it took me 5 hours to get back to where I was. And I was like, what the heck? So then I just kind of man, I got to do something. I saw, obviously, the truckers coming up here. I'm like, I have to go. And then I actually ended up reaching out, and that's where it started, where I ended up talking to a friend and seeing them at the protest, where he got me in connection with her, where she went with a guy that she's never met, where, from a buddy that I haven't seen in 10 years, the next thing you know, there's 4 other carloads that are leaving on different days from Regina and surrounding area to come here. Because it's all people that it doesn't matter. It's not anti-vax. I'm not anti-vax. I went to school, 7 classes as a paramedic. I have my own business now, but I'm not anti-vax. I'm anti-COVID vax, and I'm anti-mandate. Freedom, we start here, and then we go down, and then we can go at the other values. But ultimately, why people died, why millions of people in the world that died in the World War I and World War II, was to start off at that level of freedom, and then the other things we go in. So if someone wants to get the vaccine or not, you shouldn't have to be forced to do it, and that's why I'm here. It's freedom.
What did you do in the military?
I was a Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry, so I was front lines. So they're the Western Canadian Infantry Regiment for Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, that's.
To be honest, I just wanted a picture with you.
Well, dude, I'm hearing the story. And I also want to point out to the crowd, premature, and I was 10.5 pounds. So life can change over a long enough time. Amazing. Nice to meet you. Thank you for everything. Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Here, I'm going to turn down to the Dance Revolution while we take a selfie here, a picture.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
on camera?
Hold on. We're just gonna have the camera like this. Okay, live with it.
Awesome.
Nice
Thank
to meet you.
Very nice meeting you. Thanks for all you're doing.
Absolutely.
You handle everything so well.
But you started, but you're making it. You're giving a voice for people. Like it is. I see you. I got rid of all socials and everything. I literally just downloaded socials just so I could get a voice out here. I get 3 people watching one of my videos, and then my freaking phone dies. So you have more of an influence. Keep her going, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers.
Now, so I see a dude with a clown wig, and another gentleman with a GoPro and a. Everyone's got Canon out here. I don't know why no one has Nikon. You guys mind being on the webs?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, now let me see this here. This says, let me see if I can get this. Sorry, I didn't mean to pull on your jacket. Have a good day, guys. UBC Toronto 27.
Yeah, local 27, Carpenters Union.
United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America. Okay, first of all, what is the United Brotherhood of Carpenters?
Oh, just the Carpenter Union, Carpenter Union of America. So local 27 is just the Toronto Union.
Amazing. Okay, now where are you from?
I'm from Markham originally, but I moved to Bracebridge about 7 years ago.
Markham is just outside of Toronto for anybody.
And Bracebridge is about 2 hours north of Toronto, cottage country. And actually, I'm happy to see Viva here because I've been watching him like you guys are all watching right now. I've been watching him throughout the weeks and happy that he's sharing all this content. It's great. Thank you very much for what you're doing. So I'm just stoked that I was able to see you.
Fantastic. How long you been out here for?
Yesterday. I'm in a really low place, and it's good to hear. I'm here for 2 reasons. I'm here to laugh at Clown World. Hawk! And I am here to lift my spirits with my fellow countrymen. God bless freedom.
Fantastic. Gentlemen,
thank you so much.
When I get my thumb back in my piece, give me a hug.
Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Where's the hunk?
Can I give a shout out to my YouTube channel?
Oh, absolutely, please.
If you want to check me out at what I'm doing, I'm not doing as awesome as what he's doing. I'm Blem, B-L-E-M. If you type in Blem Surfing on YouTube, you'll find me. And the last video I posted was about Dr. Alexander. So, yeah.
Blem Surfing,
Yeah.
B-L-E-M Surfing. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
much,
Sir, do you mind being on the interwebs?
It's all right.
You have the Freedom Frost in the beard like nobody's business today. What were you doing?
Excellent.
You were skating on the
I
Rideau
skated
Canal.
up here on the canal. I walked around to check it out. Heard some bagpipe music.
You're from Ottawa?
I'm from Ottawa. I'm originally from out west.
All right. And how
But
have
I
you
started watching your. It's sort of live. It's a little bit of.
I love it. There's a bit of a lag. How have you? First of all, you live in Ottawa. You've been reading what people have been saying about this, the radio, the news. What's the general sentiment among the Ottawanians?
Well, I think it's kind of mixed. Well, I don't know whether people feel comfortable talking about it. But I've come down. The days I've come down here, it's usually after I hear something on the news that's egregiously negative and ridiculous, and then I just have to come down and prove to myself that no, it's fine. It's been quite peaceful. I mean, I suppose in certain neighborhoods there's been disruptions in traffic and stuff, but I mean,
I gotta say this is everyone watching. I think that is a legit old school Maple Leafs hat. That is an antique of sorts?
Well, it's I don't know. It's probably about 15 years old. Maybe it's got the old insignia.
No, it's
when I first started watching hockey on TV, they won the cup.
All right, well,
I was 6 years old at the time, so.
Amazing. Nice to
anyway,
meet you.
I've been following you for a while. I really like your stuff. So keep it up, man.
Thank you very much. We'll do. Have a good one, gentlemen.
Good to see you.
We're kids here.
Yeah, good to see you.
We saw a spontaneous kiss. Where are you in from?
Well, Toronto, Vancouver, now in Ottawa until the job gets done. Coach Vlad here.
I'm going to go ahead and say that you have a Eastern European. Do I say Romanian? Because that's Russian. Yeah. I was going to say I tried to get smart. So you were born in Russia?
I was born in Soviet Union.
Okay.
So I was born in 1980 in Soviet Union. Coach Vlad. I went to my first rally May 2nd of 2020 in Queens Park, Toronto. Being a concerned parent, my son just turned 4 years old at that time, and now I have a daughter as well. So I do this for my own kids, but I do it for all the kids to ensure that they have a better future. And unfortunately, I say this often that if I had a choice for my kids to grow up in Soviet Union like I did, or in Canada 22, I would actually choose Soviet Union, because that's how real things are right now in terms of tyranny, child abuse, medical experimentation. We didn't have this in Soviet Union. The life wasn't great, but not to this extent.
When did you leave? By way of memory, so that people can assess your memory.
Yeah, so I was born in 1980. Soviet Union collapsed in 91. So I caught the last 11 years of Soviet Union. And obviously it wasn't as bad as maybe a couple of decades before. But I was still lining up outside of the store to get into the store at 8 years old. I had food coupons to buy food because the government actually told you how much food you're allowed to buy. It didn't matter how much money you had. The government told you if you can leave the country, cannot leave the country, how much food you're going to buy, what else you're going to do with your life. But still, with all that context, like I said, if I had a choice for my kids to grow up right now in Canada, Soviet Union, unfortunately, I would choose Soviet Union. That's how bad things are. And it's not to make it, dramatic for people, just to understand the reality of severity of situation that we're all in. And we are literally on a hill and we're holding the line for the future of the whole humanity. Not to make it super grand, but it is. And I appreciate you doing what you've been doing, exposing the BS in Quebec. It's unreal. Like, I could not believe that Quebecers took it, what do you call this?
Vaccine passport?
No, for the 6 months. You could
the curfew.
The curfew, like even in Iran, they didn't have a curfew. They don't have a curfew in North Korea, but Quebec had a curfew for 6 months. Insane.
For a virus, by the way, not for a war.
Nothing, right? Amazing. And then right now, I was listening to Brain Peckford conference. He said, even if they tried to pass the War Emergency Act, it's still going to take them a couple of weeks of debates and stuff like that. So it's our opportunity to keep applying the pressure, keep and make sure more people show up here. It's so important. I mean, last Saturday we had probably more people than the Saturday before, but we have to have people here during the week. So if you're able to come, we have to make sure that if we try to push any funny business, we're gonna do it during the week. So we need more people during the week. So guys, if you're able to make it to Ottawa during the week, besides the weekend, please do what you can and support the truckers, support the freedom in this country, and we have to protect all kids and make Canada free again. Thank you, guys.
Now, do you have anything that any website, any YouTube channel? What do you have?
Yeah, so Hugs of a Mask was the original movement I started. The one we're pushing right now is weallessential.ca. That's the main one, and then I'm Free Canadian will be the empowerment for Canadians to be proud and patriotic of this country, and making sure, like I said, we can be example for the whole humanity. And we are already, and it's beautiful. We're doing it the Canadian way. Peaceful revolution the Canadian way. We're doing it in the coldest month ever because that would be the Canadian way to do it, right?
Absolutely. Nice
to see you, brother. Okay, Vlad. Coach Vlad on Instagram. Okay?
Coach Vlad on Instagram. Coach Vlad.
Thank you,
brother.
brother.
Nice to meet you.
God bless.
All right, you too. See you. Yeah, someone had asked if this weather is normal. It's cold. When I studied law in Quebec City, it was below -20 for like 2 weeks. And I remember there were people from countries that did not have that type of cold, and their skin literally started swelling. Any exposed skin started swelling at the mere exposure to the air. So it's my fingertips are getting real numb. Stop paying your taxes. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Okay, so what was the consensus on the vote, people? I'm gonna have to listen to the news when I get back to the car. 12:45, 1:45, 12 to 1, 2, 3, 3:45 almost. Okay, we're gonna wind it up soon. I'm gonna go down to the Dance Dance Revolution Convoy section. We interviewed the trucker Christian. Man. Oh, it's windy and it's cold. Oh God. So apparently Brian Peckford, the last living signatory to the 1982 Constitution, who is filing suit. Oh, yeah, I'll take one of those. Oh, thank you. Sorry?
No, keep that.
Could you hold this for 1 second?
Mr. Fry.
Oh, yeah, sorry. How you doing, Adam? Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna do this.
No cooties on those, by the way.
Sorry?
I don't
even care about cooties. I'm done with cooties. First of all, we had COVID about a month and a half ago, so I'm good for a while. Thank you very much. We got Adam Nucci in the house. Adam,
going on?
How you doing?
I'm good. We're streaming today.
Well, we're crossing streams. That joke is never going to get old. Do you know what the news was? Apparently there was news about the vote on the Hill.
I don't know yet.
We're both
out yet when I came out.
All right, and we're both like disconnected once we're streaming. How is the streaming going?
Good. It's hard to compete with you out here.
Well, I'm signing off in a bit, so I'll divert everyone over.
What? Your prediction was Monday. You were wrong.
Well, hold on. The day's not over yet.
That's true.
We don't know what the vote was. Maybe the vote. See, I'm a lawyer, so I might argue effectively that this might have effectively ended today, but it's going to take 2 weeks for the end to come into effect.
Do you think they stay for 2 weeks, or do you think they're out?
The Convoy? They're going to be here. Convoy's going to stay for a little longer. So technically, I'll say metaphorically, it ended today. It's just going to take some time to get it to be implemented.
Yeah.
That's why nobody trusts lawyers, by the way. I'm going down this way to help.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I'm headed down here.
So yeah, Adam Nucci, everybody knows him. Adam Nucci, N-U-C-C-I, like Gucci with an N.
On YouTube, yeah.
Look at what's going on here now. This barrier of signs is getting bigger and bigger as time goes on. Oh, it's Viva. How you doing?
Good. I've been watching you guys. Didn't find too much yet today. We just got down.
No, I've been going for 3 hours now.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
winding up because I got to get back to Montreal for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, okay, take care.
All right, have a good one. Oh, who do we got here? Oh. All right, so we got, look at all these beautiful signs on the barrier. Hello, doggy. Oh. Snubbed. So there's not very many people out, but this is beautiful. Victory over fear. It's not about a virus, it's about control. Thank you, truckers, for fighting for our freedom. We stand on guard for thee. We support the truckers. Stop mesures injustifiées, stop unjustified measures. My 5-year-old has depression from school closures. Let's put that on the effing news. My 5-year-old has depression from school closures. Let's put that on the FKN news. Okay. Evil politics. Oh, I miss it. I'll have to hear the news when I get in the car. So Brian Peckford, last living signatory to the 1982 Constitution, gave a press conference about his lawsuit, I believe. So check that out. This is something you don't see every day. doing bench presses in minus. I don't know what the weather is now, but it's really quite cold. Minus 20, give or take. We got the standard convoy blockade. How you doing? Thank you. Here we go. Oh, so they do have porta. Do you know if these are the city porta potties or were these run by the convoy?
No idea.
All right. See, because the last time I was here, they didn't have any, and I think the convoy brought these in. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Let's go. Yep. Let's go, Brazo. That says Brazo Sanitation. 613-487-3954. You know what? I have never in my life had to order an external porta potty, but I've never thrown a big party in an area that did not have toilets or did not have a forest. Okay. Okay, no, we're gonna back it up here. See, there seems to be. I'm gonna walk through here and talk. This is more convoys blocked off, and gonna talk over the music because the music is gonna be a problem. They literally look for any reason to find a good excuse to stifle a stream, and this weaponizing copyrights is truly amazing. Back when the EUCD was coming out, the European Union copyright something, they were updating the copyright in Europe, and the thing that I had contemplated would be the biggest risk with what they were talking about doing for copyright was the idea of allowing people to weaponize copyright for political purposes. And so allowing someone to acquire the copyright to a controversial video and then striking it off the internet if that individual didn't want people rebroadcasting that copyrighted material. And the idea of it's not that far-fetched. You know, depending on who owns the rights to songs, weaponizing incidental use of copyright material for political suppression. I mean, it would have been a far-fetched idea, to me at least, 2 years ago. But I've seen how the world works now. Holy crab apples. Politicians sold us out, so I have to go see what happened. Vote failed. Jagmeet and Trudeau are WEF boys. Vote failed. So what does it mean the vote failed? The vote on what? The invoking the Emergencies Act or ending the mandates? For those of you who know. The vote, okay, yeah, so this is the question. Did the vote fail on invoking the Emergencies Act or on ending the mandates? No lifting mandates. No on mandates, no ending mandates. All right, Trudeau on CBC Now. Wow. Can you imagine? No lifting the mandates. My goodness. I'm gonna walk over here for a bit. So 151 to 185 defeated to end mandates. Well, I mean, I guess the silver lining is at least there's a pretty radical division or pretty clear split, almost 50-50. But that's it. That's unbelievable. Let me just seethe with anger so that you don't see my face.
Thanks for getting all this footage and showing people what's really going on.
Do you mind talking to the interwebs?
Sure.
All right. So we're just getting news that apparently the vote to end the mandates has been defeated, 185 to 151. Where are you in from?
Calgary, Alberta.
How long have you been here for?
Just got here today, drove 4 days.
Really?
Yeah, put the family and the pets in the van, and nothing more important for us than to figure this stuff out here.
Are you sleeping in the van, or have you got a place to
we
stay?
got family. I'm from Ontario,
very nice.
so yeah, we got family around.
What kind of dogs?
Oh, it's an Alberta farm dog.
So that means there's multiple types of dogs in that. If I know it, no, I don't know anything about it. So you drove down 4 days, and you're staying here for how long?
Oh, just a few days, and the rest of the week probably head back on the weekend.
And how has it been in terms of a family bonding experience?
You can say that.
4 days. 4 days in the car. How many kids do you have?
2 kids.
2 kids. How many dogs?
A cat and a dog.
Jeez, that's amazing. First of all, that's dedication, people. And,
well, there's nothing more important.
And
we're being crushed, right? It's got to end. We've got to go back to the rule of law, back to following the Constitution, and stop coercing people into something they don't want to do.
What's your first name?
Murray.
Murray? David.
David,
Nice to
thanks.
meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Enjoy, man.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
You too.
Okay, so 3 hours, got here 12:45, so it's 3:45. All right, people, we're gonna wind it up. Adam Nucci is live streaming, so you can go watch with Nucci. Autowalks, Zot, Z-O-T, Mac John, M-A-K-J-O-N. If everybody tweets that out, I'm gonna go ahead and tweet it also, because that is some grade A bull plop. This is back to the War Memorial. Progress, hey, small progress. They took away the fence, and they was even the protesters themselves. Oh, we got the drummer who's back out, so maybe we'll end with a little drumming at the War Memorial. But if everyone can tweet out the Mac John bit at Team YouTube and have them look at it, because it's nonsense, and it's algorithmic. And then I do believe also even the manual review is algorithmic. Gentlemen, do you want to end with some drumming? Okay, I'm gonna just sit behind you and I'm gonna stop talking. You want hand warmers?
No, I'll be good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Someone gave me them, but they're gonna be useless in a bit. So
I'm honored.
Cool. See you in person. I've been watching you for a while.
thank you very much. not. Thank you very much. Have a good night, man.
Cheers,
Thank
man.
you. Thank
God
you.
bless you.
God bless you too.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have a good one. So that is it. Another day, gonna go catch up on the news, and then we'll see where this goes. Thank you all, as always. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I hope no one out there forgot. I absolutely would have forgotten. I'm gonna go see what my kid got, what she got for us, and then I'm gonna totally pretend, because I know that Marion is not watching now. I'm gonna totally pretend that I remembered and that I got it because I'm a thoughtful husband. Everybody, really, thank you very much. Share, clip away, get the word out. Come down if you can. Support it or don't support it, but come down and see it so that you know what you are or are not supporting. And in as much as it's possible, try to sensitize people to what is going on without being a zealot. You cannot convince people who do not want to have their minds opened. So you always have to approach other people with that in mind. And this is it. This is Ottawa. You can hear the honking in the distance. There is no bumper-to-bumper traffic. If this is a siege, if this is an occupation, it's the most peaceful one ever. All right, peeps. I'm going to end it. Thank you all. Hope you enjoyed this. And, tomorrow night, live with Barnes. So Sunday night on a Tuesday night, it's going to be good. I'm going to go catch up on my American law stuff. And vivabarneslaw.locals.com, live tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. And we have a sidebar this week as well. So everything's back to normal as of Wednesday. And we'll maybe be back in Ottawa soon. All right, guys. Have a good day. See you all tomorrow.